Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
So now with a 24-yard pass play, they're at the 31-yard line. 2 timeouts, 14 seconds left. Helens, a little bit of a play fake. He's going to throw it long to the end zone.
Oh, that's got to be interference.
No flags yet. Nope.
She serves over to Olivia. Nice pass. Long gap set. Boom! Andy Jackson. A rocket. 24-12. 25-12 with ease. Nebraska takes down KU. A 3-set sweep in the Sweet 16 and on to Texas A&M.
Shot clock to 7. Hoiberg missed. Got his own rebound. Right back up. Missed it.
There he is. Garcia. How big has he been down the stretch for this Nebraska ball club?
Lawrence to throw it in. Garcia runs to it. Catching it inbounds is Hoiberg. 14 seconds, 13 seconds. Hoiberg across the division line. We got 10, 9. Everybody flat along the baseline except for Sam out into the timeline. 5 seconds to go. Sam drives the ball, kicks it. It is Lawrence, puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go. Inbounds play. I'm going to pass out. The game is over. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Nebraska wins it. Jamarcus Lawrence hits one with 2 seconds, 2/10 of a second to go. And I'm not going to last this year, but Nebraska just set a school record for 11 wins to start this season.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What is up, DB?
How we doing?
Are you going to pass out?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Oh, 2 super early flights. So,
yeah. How was Tulsa?
Tulsa was good.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of kind people. Early, it was a 5:05 flight yesterday.
Ooh, that is early.
Yeah, so my man Walt, he picked me up.
Kowalski?
He and his wife actually stayed because that's where the engagement was. And so he was already there, but we left for the airport at 3:45.
That's pretty early.
So we're fine. A couple of delays. Ended up getting in pretty late, or later in the afternoon. But going down, it was super easy.
You end up in Phoenix again on the way back?
No, so I went through St. Louis.
That makes a little more sense, I guess.
I went through St. Louis. It was, I forgot how to fly. That's embarrassing. Oh, I did. It's because even when we went to Chicago for the Buckus last year, like Kirkman did everything.
I say your AD took care of everything, right?
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, it's traumatizing.
Need a little tutorial. Be like, hey,
man,
watch a YouTube video. How do normal people board planes?
Yeah, I think a couple of the guys at Southwest were like, what? What? It's like, yeah, all right, never mind. I think I got it now. Just needed some more practice.
No, it's good. You got it. It's good. It's good for you.
Well, I hadn't been in an airport in a minute.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for you to fraternize with us normal folk. You know.
I know why I have such a disdain for flying.
Yeah.
Oh, etiquette, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, it's bad.
Oh, that's also a lot of people for you.
I mean, not. I don't think I was being overly.
No, I'm just saying in general. That's not.
Oh, you mean being around a lot of people?
Yes.
Oh, that's all right. So I found a couple of gates that were closed.
You just off by yourself?
Yeah. So I walked I'm like E24. I'm like at E2. Chilling. Because there were a couple of delays, but it's just
as far away from civilization as possible.
So yeah, basically. So I'm always going to try to get an exit row.
Yeah, of course.
And the seat directly behind the 2-seat exit row has the most legroom.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. But the guy was a Hummer behind me, and it wasn't a full flight coming back. There were only like 41 people going from Tulsa to St. Louis. So there's
Can't imagine that's a super popular flight.
And it was a 737 too, so there's plenty of seats.
Yeah.
Right? And so after and it's 4:51 maybe a.m. He's just on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 6 minutes. So I asked him, I said, hey, good morning, man. I said, are you normally a Hummer?
You called him out?
Yeah, but I was friendly. I swear. Yeah, you normally a Hummer? He's like, yeah. Helps keep the peace. Went right on back to humming.
For who? Him or himself in his own head?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Helps keep his Kenny at bay?
Yeah. So doors are going to close in about probably 6-7 minutes. So I waited as long as I could so it didn't seem immediate.
Yeah.
And I hopped over to the 2-seat exit on the other side of the aisle. And the flight attendant, she was like, are you getting squirmy? I was like, I wanted to say, no, he's a Hummer, but I didn't.
I'm going to be honest.
I didn't have anything I wanted to listen to yet. That's where AirPods would have come in handy, but I was still scrolling on what I wanted to find.
If somebody was
I had a hacker behind me.
If somebody came up like a cougher or like a computer hacker?
Like,
oh yeah, that's worse.
Yeah, his brother too. He was very, very, very kind.
Yeah.
So it was hard to say anything. But my man was struggling. I think showers should be mandatory. But
like that, like ugh.
I think if someone came up to me, I'm not somebody who hums frequently, but if somebody came up to me and was like, no matter what your tone of voice or how nice you think you were, and was like, are you normally a Hummer? I think they were being a dick.
That was fine. We stood up when the plane landed, and he made like 13 calls while we're standing, so it was good.
You got to get some work done.
Man. Hey, you're normally up. Girls wake you up. And I was just like, I'm like, wow.
Oh, he missed his family.
No, I mean, he could have waited like.
No.
He knocked out like 6.
He couldn't. He was like, I got to talk to my family. This is what it's about.
It's like 6:20. I was like, man, who's up?
Apparently them. They're normally up. He just told you.
Oh, man.
The people in the chat would like Evan Stone to appear after the Illinois-Nebraska game. I think they want their pound of flesh.
Wait, what I did when I asked if he was normally a Hummer?
No,
KB asked Kobe asked if I was wrong word choice. I don't know. What was I supposed to say?
He asked if you were fat shaming somebody because you're calling him a Hummer, like a car.
Oh no, he was a little guy. And you know what? So I gotta get this out real quick.
Yeah.
So on like airport restrooms, there's always like trafficking signs. So you don't fly a ton?
No, but you mean signs like to show people which way to go or whatever?
No, not like traffic, like foot traffic, like sex trafficking.
Oh, okay,
like
sure.
In restrooms and stuff and 1-800s. And I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, that'd be kind of gutsy to go through an airport. But I saw a couple of things that put ideas in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking at these two guys. And the one kid was only about 15, 16, and the other guy was a little older, and he like put his lip balm on him for him and stuff. And I just was like, I don't want to be judgmental, but is everybody okay?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Is everybody okay?
That's kind of the idea of those signs, right? Is like if something seems off, you should tell somebody.
Yeah, so I was mad at the sticker for
putting ideas in your head.
Yes, I'd have been just fine.
Would you?
I think. Like he got a bagel from the bagel company, and he like took a bite, and then he like gave it to him. Like he held it for him.
Is it possible there was like a special needs situation?
No, because they sat in the exit row, and she said,
"Oh yeah, sure."
She goes, "Are you 15?" And he goes, "No, I'm 16." Because you have to be.
Yeah, you have to be certain.
Yeah, so that's
capabilities.
Yeah, he's right catty corner from me.
I don't know, man. Maybe you should have told somebody.
How about if you're wrong though?
Well,
and I get that's why stuff happens because people don't want to be wrong.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to kid you. I walked all the way to gate E34 to Nashville.
Yeah,
because that's where they were going. I just wanted to I'm like, I got to double check.
Oh, you followed them?
Yeah.
Well, at least you were doing some due diligence.
3 hours in St. Louis.
That's a long time in St. Louis.
Well, that would have been my normal. So I landed at 6:09, and I didn't fly out until 9:50.
Oof.
but I ended up not flying out until 12.
Yeah, that's rough.
12-ish.
That's a little rough.
I like the little auto updates though.
Oh, you get them on like your phone?
Yeah.
That is nice. You don't have to like go find the TV like you used to.
No.
Be like, when's my flight leaving?
Although my gate went from like 16 to 22 to 34.
Oh, they're bouncing all over the place?
Mm-hmm.
That's not great.
Yeah. St. Louis is a very interesting hub.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. I had a buddy that went to law school in St. Louis, so I went down and visited him.
Yeah, a lot of people, like I heard this one. Hey, if you'd like to travel with a bag, I'd recommend you come back to gate 12. There's one outside the bathroom. Name it, claim it. I was like, that's kind of funny, but a little like it was just, and everybody. I mean, you work there every day. Probably everybody's got to have their bit to keep them going.
Yeah, you got to do. Like there's this guy at a drive-through place that the wife and I go to semi-regularly, and he does this like whole bit, like when you're driving through.
Yeah,
he goes.
One of our attendants. Whoa.
What just happened there? Oh man, your computer just spazzed out.
What just happened?
I don't know if spaz is offensive. If it is, I apologize.
Whoa.
I don't know what your computer just restarted out of nowhere. I don't think it was doing that thing that like old TVs used to do.
Yeah, the bad pixelating.
That's not great. That's not great.
It is because it was cold because it was in my car.
Maybe that probably.
I mean,
you should not leave that in your car.
It was an accident this time.
Maybe.
Real cold this weekend.
That was an accident this time. I didn't mean to.
Well, it looks like you might be okay.
I don't know. We'll see. So, like the whole weekend, I mean, I spent a ton of time just like watching television.
Yeah, there was a lot of television to watch.
And I felt like we were all watching the games together.
I think
was Jacob the only one that was real time at Creighton, or was he at volleyball?
He was at volleyball. I think. I don't think even think he was at Creighton.
So nobody.
Or no, he might have double dipped on Saturday.
Was anybody real time at the game? I know Matty wasn't because he was talking about.
Yeah,
he watching the next game.
Yeah, I think he's still at his brother's. I wasn't. I was watching on TV. Jacob might have double dipped because I think there was enough gap between Creighton and.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon between Army, Navy, Creighton basketball, Nebraska basketball.
Oh, Nebraska didn't even play on Saturday, right? They played Friday, Sunday.
You talking about volleyball?
Yeah. Okay, so he would have been at Creighton on Saturday.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was.
I forgot what the schedule was.
But it was in so he was at basketball because volleyball was in Lexington. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would assumed he would have been at basketball.
I think he was.
He was
busy this weekend.
He's pretty snarky too. Like Jacob wasn't having it in our group chat.
Oh no, he was. I mean,
he wasn't having it.
It was if you root for and cover the teams that Jacob does, it was a tough weekend.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk to him later. We'll talk to Jacob at 9:30. Get his thoughts on the Nebraska volleyball season and the way it ended. We'll also talk to Sam.
Utter disbelief.
Yeah, that's
4 in a row
for the volleyball team.
Yeah.
This one, just judging by sort of what people said and what was happening on the internet, this one felt different. I think maybe because of how the season went.
Excuse me. You mean being so dominant?
Yeah, like it. I know it's never impossible to lose, right? But it felt at least making the Final Four felt as inevitable as anything in sports going into it. Yeah. And so I think that's where people are really struggling today and kind of last night is just this didn't even come across, I think, most people's radars as a possibility that something bad would happen before the Final Four.
Yeah, so this was my buddy. This was Aaron Saturday at 11:06. And he goes, I hope to be minus $100 tomorrow afternoon. I think A&M is pretty good. Got a really good medal. And I said, yeah, I don't know. Should be interesting. I don't know if they have enough offensive versatility, but they're more than formidable.
Yeah.
What's the line? He says plus 1,400.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Dinner on Aaron. Dinner on Aaron.
Yeah, that's
A lot of people didn't really like the vibe heading into this game.
well, you find out later that it seems like flu's running through the team, which that can change the vibe for sure, as you know.
My heart broke.
And the weird injury like 3 minutes before the match started.
Like crying? Like DBK said it threw them off.
Yeah, it was super random. And I mean, just stepped on a volleyball?
Yeah.
Like that's super weird. And like random and kind of just like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it's such a fine line between because you're built to just deal with it. Especially this team, I'm sure there were some similarities in mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But going into our Texas game at the Big 12 championship, but you don't want to make excuses.
Yeah,
like we just didn't talk about it, right? I mean, playing little guys at line, like we were, decimated.
Yeah,
but we don't talk about it.
Yeah, even though
it's like Texas made it for the media and fan base might. But we don't, like, as a team, really talk about it.
Which I get, and I do, and especially in the moment, you can't.
My heart sank. When I started reading, especially, like, there was kind of some struggles with some early reports on social media, and it was kind of going back and forth, and then that got my attention, and I was like, ooh, wonder what's going on. And then, with the whole flu thing, doctors being in the locker room, I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, even, because we went through it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, no, we'll still be fine. Oh, no, we'll still
Well, you have to tell yourself that, right?
Yeah, we'll still be fine.
So, like that, because that's to me, I understand in the moment and as a team and in that locker room, you have to tell yourself that. There's no other option, right? Because you cannot change the fact that people are getting sick around you or you're getting sick yourself, right? But, like, it does, like, it obviously makes a difference. Like, physically, it makes a difference.
Well,
shoot, I come in here sometimes and I don't feel good and it makes a difference and I'm not doing anything physical, right? I'm just talking. And you can tell. And I'm trying. Like it's not like I'm throwing in the towel and just be like, I'm just here to be here. Like I'm trying.
Did you Berg and Riley look like the pasty gangster.
Yeah.
But she balled though. So I give it to her.
But so there were no options because backup setter's out, right? Allie's out all of a sudden, with no warning whatsoever to kind of prepare for that. Andy Jackson's struggling. So things.
How about my ominous text?
Which one was that?
I was like, well, DBK, what I said?
Oh, yeah, about Andy.
I said, well, Perb not putting AJ back in the game, come back to Hunter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things. We've sort of talked about this with DBK all year, though, like with her lineup and the way she does things.
She's going to do it, yeah.
Yeah, she's just going to do it. And all year, it's like, it can't be the right thing all year. And then all of a sudden we second guess when we don't like the result.
Yeah, she got the quick hook early.
Right.
Yeah. You talk about being late to the party a few too many times, especially with A&M's medals.
But if you're sitting there and you go, okay, this is how, like, we built this team to have depth and to have options so that if somebody wasn't playing well, then we didn't have to stick with that and just hope it turned around. Yeah. Then, like, that's literally what they've been doing all year. So I don't know how you can go back now and say, hey, probably should have gone back to Andy. Maybe, obviously she's one of the best players on her team, right? But, like, this is the reason you played this season the way you did, is so you gave yourself options. We talk about the football team all the time. Coach yourself into options. She did. She coached herself into options. It didn't work out this time. But they also came back from 2 sets down and almost won that thing. So
how about A&M's swag?
Yeah.
That was a resilient.
Yeah, like after you lose
bunch.
After you lose 2. So I think
what I felt like it was Nebraska's nerves though late.
Yeah.
The surface errors.
Yeah. A&M had a couple, but Nebraska was struggling. There was a couple things that
a couple on match point. It's like,
that can't happen. I get it happens, but that's rough.
Yeah.
There were a couple things I was impressed with,
and emotionally they recovered from doing it too.
Yeah,
which I was like, oh,
to save their own match points.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty impressive. But there were a couple things I was impressed with A&M about. First, it seems like Nebraska. This is a weird analogy. There was the movie Miracle? in 1980. Like it seems like when teams like it seems like when A&M didn't crumble after Nebraska got on top of them early in the first set, that sort of like gave them some of that confidence to be like, oh, we can survive the flurries.
Yeah, they were in it from the jump emotionally. Like I don't think they ever.
But I think Nebraska, to a certain extent, is used to when they kind of jump on a team and they get out to like a 5-7 point lead.
They will.
Lots of teams wilt against that, right? Because they're like, oh, God, here it comes, right? A&M didn't, to their credit. It kind of happened again in the second set. A&M didn't wilt again, to their credit. And then when Nebraska came back and won 2 sets, A&M still didn't wilt. Like, I think there is a certain part of Nebraska that was used to teams sort of folding to their relentlessness, and A&M just didn't do it. Right, and that's credit to them, but it also, and this is very layman's, like it seemed like Nebraska struggled with A&M serve.
Yeah, the pass. It's just, people talk a lot about the gaudy, sexy statistics, but at the end of the day, man, you have got to be able to pass.
Yeah,
I think most volley. I mean, you have got to be able to pass, and it just was a struggle, and it got them. A&M, it was explosive. What a weird Final Four.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, though. I like Texas's court with that white trim.
Yeah, it's sharp looking.
That joke was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp looking.
But I was like, oh. But it was weird. I didn't know who to cheer for.
Yeah. With the people who are like, oh, Wisconsin might upset Texas. And I was like, I don't want to root for Wisconsin.
Well, he's tough.
I was like, you think
Some of those facial expressions? Well, he is a menace.
Rico texted me because I don't know if he didn't think I was paying attention or what, which is a fair assumption once Nebraska volleyball was over. He's like, hey, just so you know, like Wisconsin's up 2-0 on Texas right now. And I was like, is that a good thing? I was like, this feels like a big meteor game.
Yeah.
You're like, I hope a big meteor hits the stadium. I don't want either team to win this thing.
This is only 1-1, right? A 1, a 2, and 2 threes?
I believe that's right. Yeah.
Wild.
I believe that's correct.
Wild. Anything can happen, boy.
Man, I am curious how Nebraska fans are like processing.
Are they? Who's going to KC?
I mean, nobody now. I can't imagine.
Do you still roll?
I wouldn't, but I'm petty. Like, I would not want to be there, personally.
I mean, because they would have been there in droves.
Oh, they would have taken over.
Droves.
I mean, whatever the Cincinnati game looked like, multiply that times however many, especially over the course of a weekend. And that's Kansas City next weekend. Kansas City just lost an enormous amount of money. Like,
gotta be.
Low key, like they just lost an enormous amount of money. Like the canceled hotel rooms this morning are going to be off the charts.
I was just like, oh man, because you're kind of cheering for. I mean, you're always cheering for business, and you're cheering for your team, so it's like,
yeah, I mean, just double whammy there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it'll still be a good television product, but
for sure. I mean, super high level.
It's outstanding on TV.
It is. It's a good television product.
It's as good a TV sport as there is of all the sports.
Yeah, it translates really, really well.
Yeah,
which you cannot say for everything.
We were having our football banquet part of it when it was live, and so you're kind of at the table and you're trying not to have emotions, but it's like
it's hard.
It's super hard.
Yeah.
I was sitting next to Coach Maloney. I love that dude. Oh, it's nerve-wracking. And they just answered the dinner bill. Boy, he was bad yesterday. I'm hoping, as we're looking at Bengals-Ravens highlights, remember I told you I was kind of blowing off his comments last week because Burrow's just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's a lot going on. Not having fun right now. I got to figure out how to have fun. Then on the heels of that game, I'm like, would he retire or would he move on from Cincinnati? Because if he wants to move on from Cincinnati, and I'm Pittsburgh, I'm like, man, put together your next 37 draft picks.
Whatever you want. You name here, Cincinnati, here's a check. You write your price on it, and then go ahead and cash it. Don't even let us know. We're cool.
Who is this walking into the?
I saw that earlier. I don't know who that is. I didn't recognize him.
May want to put some clothes on. No shoes.
Yeah,
That's not your vibe.
No, we're doing too much. So
but it was a crazy weekend.
Jacob Bigelow tweeted this out about
What did JB say?
You were talking about the attendance in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So prior to the Nebraska loss, tickets were, looks like the get-in price was $347.
Yeah.
Afterwards, it was $138. So it almost dropped by 2/3.
That's tough.
Yeah. It's going to be rough out there.
Yeah. But, I mean, it is just a topsy-turvy. And I was just thankful I don't have to wait to be miserable about the Steelers until tonight. But, is that funny, Shane?
No, it's just the wait to be miserable thing.
I was laughing at the comments.
We're literally live doing Creighton and K-State, which the Bashirs, well, I'm telling you, we talk about all the time in our house because we played against those guys since like middle school.
Yeah.
Their evolution as twins is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He did Nebraska like that too.
He did. Wasn't it? I mean,
he did Nebraska.
That's the closest I've watched Haggerty this year. I don't love his game.
So
you asked me.
Was it? So you got the frame of reference of my question.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we're leaving on Thursday. Mm-hmm. It's not even. I mean, we got a couple of days.
Yeah.
And on a humbug, we're walking out, and I asked Ravi, and I go, we were walking out, Shane, and I go, I mean, is Haggerty really leading the country in scoring? I said, is he good?
And you said, can he keep it up? And I said, he probably drops to like 18, 19 in conference.
Yeah.
Which felt reasonable.
He torched Nebraska, especially in the second half. Because I think Nebraska gave up a 50 spot in the second half to KSU in that one. Because they
Yeah.
No, sir, yeah.
I think you're right.
It was in the 30s at the half, and I think KSU ended up scoring 85 on Nebraska. But I mean, they shot. He shot lights out from three.
Yeah, I don't love
Nebraska.
I don't love his game.
It's different.
Yeah, it's a little funky.
It's different, but I mean, if I'm gonna butcher his, I'm just gonna say hyphenated last name. You know, them playing through the post and getting paint touches, even though they want to shoot like that was interesting to watch them play like that.
That's how I wanted Creighton to play through Freeman, is to get the paint which I get he's not healthy.
I don't know if he's built like that.
I don't either, but that seemed like if he's healthy, that seemed like one of the only paths forward for them to compromise defenses and get the shots they want.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know if he's built like that either, but it seems like he's more likely to be built like that than any of the guards on their roster are likely to be built like a guard that can accomplish that.
Mac is in a serious bond. And I think he told you that in the presser, too.
Hey, I finally found 5 or 6 guys I think I can play with.
He said, it's going to be a short rotation. I was like, wow.
If you can find like 1 or 2 more, or if Greer comes back healthy, you've got a shot. Like if you've got 7 guys you feel like you can roll with, you've got a shot. But he's in a tough spot.
Yeah.
And
he's back to talking about like playing hard and unselfish.
I mean, he's never stopped, I don't think. It's been a few weeks now. Like he's been beating that drum for a minute.
No bueno there.
You know what? I want to get back to Nebraska basketball for a second here, though, because so obviously like Price Sanford, your boy, had like a moment, right? And I was trying to. So,
can I just say?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say something. This is 100% true. I was jumping on my hotel bed.
Really?
Like a 4-year-old.
Just like thrilled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when he was, I was arguing. This was a nasty one at talking to the guys at the shop. And when Nebraska got Price out of the portal, the team was starting to look a certain way in terms of athleticism.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're gonna 3-point shooters. And guys, oh man, you got to go get some fellas out of the portal. And I just remembered, I was like, guys, I'm telling you, I don't know about the whole Iowa thing, but like Price gets downhill. He's a baller. Like he's not one of those stand around catch and shoot guys. Man, DB, you like everybody. You see And I heard it for like 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm telling you, man, it's like this guy is not a studio gangster. He is like Price enjoys. It's why I like Frankie, right? Fiddler. Like you could just tell guys when they step on the court, it's important that you know that they're good and they think they're good.
Some guys are about that life. Like that's just kind of what it is.
Price is.
Yeah.
And so to have that happen and to see him just give it to people on the constant,
especially in like that moment on that stage.
And I
like
bet you, like sometimes he's even, I wouldn't say hard to coach, but like he's emotional on the bench too. You may get the occasional eye roll or the super hard high five or the like he is. I love it, and I was like, yeah, jumping on the bed. I was like, give it to him, Pete. Like I knew. I was like, give it to him. And people outside,
like you're Kevin in Home Alone.
Yeah, dead serious. You know, I'm a total child, and it was 2 bit twins. I was going back and forth. I was like, go. I was like, ooh, that 20. It's like, my man's got 26 already. And I think I texted you guys. I was like, prices, because I didn't know if you guys had transitioned.
Yeah.
And I was like, price is on a heater.
Yeah.
He's up to 26.
I got you were not the first person to text me about price. Good old Evan Stone was like,
so I missed that segment. How was Evan?
He was funny. Like he was good, but then so people are chirping at him because he's like at the end he goes, "You want a prediction or anything?" And I go, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And he goes, "Illinois by 1 million."
It was a bad matchup on paper. They just aren't very tough.
Yeah.
But I said I worry about their toughness.
He went all Cam Ward on me after the game. He goes, "I'm gonna keep it a buck. Our defense is ass."
They won't touch anybody.
Nah.
I mean, we keeping a buck right now. We ass.
That's basically the text he sent me after the Jamarcus Lawrence shot.
And it was just to watch them weather the storm. See, it's not just that they won. It was the big lead. Then Illinois closes out on the 13-0 run at the half. It's 37s, and I'm like, oh, man.
That Falcons going the wrong way.
It did.
Yeah, it 100%.
But Illinois still wasn't doing it how they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the only saving grace, because I watched them.
Probably the way you need to against Nebraska.
I'm like, oh, that's not how they want to play.
Yeah.
And I can't stand Boswell. I'm like,
I don't like his game.
Oh my gosh,
I don't like his game.
So I'm just watching this thing, and then it gets kind of dicey, and everybody's mad about the officiating. I was like, man, just hang in there, man. Just play through it. And then
who do you want to think texted me said, "Hey, Nebraska won 8v5 today"?
TK.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a TK.
100%. So like, I'm watching Price in the first half, and like, that's the type of thing that I love, right? There's like a little bit Ethan Rogge, Villanova in there early, but you know what it ended up looking like, because
he made 6 of his first 7, right?
I think so, from 3, and then I think he was 7 of 8 from the field until he missed the little layup or whatever. It kind of gave me a little. You remember when like Clay would go off for those random like 30-point quarters, and it's sort of like he would hit a flurry here, and then it'd be sort of a slow burn for a while, and it'd be threes, and then he's cutting and he's making little mid-rangers. Like it had a little bit of like Clay getting hot vibes to it, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to watch. Like
he's like, you'd like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super confident and ultra competitive.
Well, I mean, I love a confident shooter, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of.
Yeah, he can put it on the deck too.
Yeah.
He can definitely put it on.
Some of those though, like you have to be feeling yourself to put up.
Yeah.
Like some of those.
He's like, oh, this thing is green? Oh, it's fluorescent green.
Yeah.
Shoot that thing.
It's like that thing looks like the hoop looks like an ocean, right? It's like it's all going in.
Then when he came out after the ticky-tack foul, and he's like, I don't know what Coach Len said to it, but Price like shot him a look, like dapped him up. I was like, yeah, he's ornery, Nate. Like, I know you know this. He's ornery, but that was fantastic, man. And then of course, I'm a big press conference guy.
Yeah.
Boy, Underwood
I've never liked him. You know this.
Is a menace.
How many times have I told you that I'm not feeling that guy?
I know.
Like you always ask me, what about Illinois? I was like, I don't trust Underwood. Like, what about Illinois? I don't trust Underwood. I don't really like Underwood. I don't know if he's a very good coach. I'm just saying,
your team better be able to, as long as that's not the first time they heard it, you're probably going to be able to bounce back from that. But man, these guys already don't play real hard.
No.
So you gotta be careful.
And this is, I mean, so
They're a little finessey.
Super talented roster. But we saw this last year too. You got 2 NBA lottery picks on that team last year, and nobody was scared of them ever.
Wow.
That's not great. If you have 2 NBA lottery picks on your team, people should be terrified of you.
Yeah.
At all times.
That's about Merkovich. Can't play him.
He's back in Serbia.
I was
like, that's not where he's from, bud.
I was hoping that. Wasn't that AI?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that one was it.
Okay. It's hard to tell because it sounded a lot like something Brad Underwood would say.
Yeah, but he was not happy with him. And it's like, do you think Stojakovic knows that he's not his dad?
Maybe.
Just get to the 10. You're a crafty finisher.
Yeah, he's pretty. I like his game.
He doesn't shoot. Yeah, he's got nice game.
I like
but
his
he doesn't
game.
shoot it like Peja.
I don't know if he maximizes the things he's good at very well.
How many times were you like, when Illinois took an ill-advised shot, you're like, yeah, shoot it.
Dude, that's the entire game plan. The entire Illinois roster, and this has been true for a couple years, is the guy in pickup ball that you're like, yeah, you can have that. No, yeah, go ahead. That's fine. I'm gonna be back here.
Yeah,
you do you, big fella.
I mean, I was like, holy smokes.
Like, it's like their entire team has been infected with Boswell shot selection.
Hey, my guy's at Kia. Headley. He's in Pittsburgh now. He's a big Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he and Owen are going to the game tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. He sent me a couple pictures. He's got his little Miami beanie cap on.
I wouldn't even I don't know. I've seen some sales managers at Kia dealerships. Underwood looks like one of those guys that operates one of those foreign luxury car used lots.
That's a good call, Joey. That is how Frager acts.
What do you say?
That's totally Frager. He's mean-spirited too. I like him, man. They are tough. Tom Petty won't back down.
Yeah.
I mean, they play with some swag.
And that I think we underestimate just how far that will take you.
Man, it's a confident bunch.
Like, just being like, no, we're about this.
And they did. So if you're Nebraska, you got to be pumped because you won on the road, and Rink wasn't even ranked because that was why I was worried, is because they have bodies to match up with him.
Yeah, Illinois can give Rink trouble.
Yeah, and it didn't matter, right? So I was like, holy smokes.
I mean, he was solid. Like, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't the guy that we have been talking about that controls every aspect of the game.
And they still found a way to win, but
he looked a lot like 2 years ago Rink, which was good but not transcendent.
How Illinois I get part of the reason they only had 9 fouls. It reminds me of some of Mac's really good Creighton teams where, because they don't foul, but they were at least playing some defense. Illinois wasn't playing. It's like,
it's a lot easier not to foul when you're just like, see ya.
But
go ahead.
I try not to get into it, but when it trickles into the broadcast, it can sometimes kind of sway you.
Yeah, a little bit.
I was like, how many? That's 18 foul. Oh, it's the 19th foul in Nebraska.
Yeah, we ended up.
I was glad Hoiberg could play with 4. Excuse me.
We ended up at 21-9 on foul calls, which seems aggressive.
Yeah, Illinois stayed in the single digits.
Yeah, 21-9. So that's a lot. It's a big disparity, especially especially stylistically. I don't know that that's appropriate.
Yeah, Nebraska won on the road, in which they only attempted 8 free throws.
That's tough to do.
It's tough.
It does help when you get almost a 30 burger at halftime from one of your guys. Peter, that kind of evens things out a little bit.
I'm telling you, man, if it had been candid camera, I was just bouncing on the bed. I was like, I'll give it to him, Price.
To be fair,
I know Caleb was cheering his brains out too. Because
Like, to be fair, I've done that though. Like, I'll be watching a game by myself, and I'll just be losing my mind. And if there was a camera in there, people are like, do we need to call somebody? Is he okay?
Like me running down the hallway when Freeman hit the home run in the World Series.
Yes, exactly.
But I couldn't make as much noise then.
I'll just like scream out of nowhere, and it scares my dogs.
That was like almost 1 a.m. It seems.
It was close. Yeah, I think it was.
It was late.
You were East Coast though on that one, weren't you?
Where was I?
Because I think it was about midnight here.
It seemed
I think you were
maybe
East
I
Coast.
was in Purdue. I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Well, I think you were East Coast time at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been in.
Because I was out at a place smoking cigars, watching it, and I know I wasn't out till 1 because I'm not about that life anymore.
Freddie, me, Gibby. Yeah, but I was in the room this time.
Yeah,
there were lots of events there.
Not running up and down the halls this time.
No,
it probably felt safer then because you knew you were on like all Nebraska people on that floor, right? Yeah, so it's a little.
No, there was. So it was like there was some cowboy. All the Christmas parties, everybody was wearing cowboy hats, and there were Christmas parties back to.
Oh, you mean in Tulsa?
Yeah,
I'm talking about with Freeman, because you like everybody on that floor was Nebraska, right?
Yeah, even though I get put in the boonies. So I don't know.
Non-essential.
Yeah, I was the furthest room down, but I was by the window, all the way down the hallway
to the wall.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's get to our guy Derek in Alliance. He wants to talk a little Husker hoops. What do we got here, Derek? How we doing this morning?
Derek, good morning. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was just looking at the excitement over the Husker basketball, so I decided to come up with NBA comps for the team.
All right, what do we got?
All right, give it to me.
All right, so we're going to start with rink math. So, really, there's only one. He's the best player in the world. It's Jokic. If you look at him, I think he patterns his game off for him. He controls the whole offense. He's got the outside threat. You can't double team him because he's such a good passer. But if you put a little guy on him, he'll take you in the post. So, still fun to watch. Next one, Burke. Burke, he thinks he's Hito Turkoglu. But he actually needs to be Draymond Green. He needs to stand out there and use his giant backside to screen open some shooters because there ain't nobody that's covering him.
We got a Hito Turkoglu reference this morning. Bless your heart. All right, keep rolling.
Yeah. All right. Sam Hoiberg. This was a little bit of a tough one, but I think he's Alex Caruso. He's just a pest. He has really good decision making. He's got the headband. I struggled a little bit because he's got a lot more hair than Alex Caruso. I would definitely trade.
I've got a better one for you for Hoiberg.
Who's that?
Giddy's
playing quietly. Giddy's better than I think people give him
credit
for.
I like his game. I like it. Yes, it's Dellavedova.
Yeah.
Hoiberg is Dellavedova. He's 100%
I went with Dellavedova to Asijan because I think that Dellavedova is more likely to get punched in the face during a game.
Yeah, Asijan seems like a pretty cool cat. Seems like it.
All right, Stanford. I struggled between Peja Stojakovic and Klay Thompson because he looked a lot like Klay Thompson during the Illinois game. So I'm going to go with Klay Thompson. And then Jamarcus Lawrence. It has to be Chauncey Billups after that shot.
Oh, big shot, Jamarcus.
Minus the FBI sting, right?
Well, yeah, that like Detroit Chauncey Billups, okay. Not like gambling Chauncey Billups.
Allegedly.
All
right, Derek.
Prager.
Oh, go ahead.
I want him to be Ginobili, but he's not quite that good. So I think he's going to be left-handed Jamal Crawford.
Jamal Crawford. God, he could handle it.
Like just instant offense off the bench, no lack of confidence. Sometimes he doesn't have it.
You know who kind of reminds me of, and Nebraska fans aren't going to like this, but at this point in his development, I think he could get better than this. He kind of has some Alex O'Connell vibes.
Yeah, well, people didn't realize O'Connell was as athletic as he was until a little bit later.
Yeah, like
he was super
bouncy, real athletic, kind of a streaky scorer, shooter type. Like I think Prager looks a lot like end of Alex O'Connell career. I think he can get better than that, but that's who he sort of reminds me of right now.
I'll kind of rock with that too, because obviously Sam Prager for so long, he is
super bouncy, like good athlete,
way athletic,
but like kind of spurty with some of the skills, you know?
All right, keep us going.
All right. Garcia. I went with Rui Hachimura. He's a little bigger than you think. He plays up a position. He can shoot sometimes. I was impressed by him down low at the end of the game.
Quietly, he's probably the dude. He was the glue guy in crunch time in Champaign, in my opinion. He did a lot of dirt. He did a lot of dirty work.
Yeah. Jacobson, Jared Dudley.
Oh, no.
You don't really notice. He doesn't need the ball. He moves the ball along. Sometimes he shoots. That's what I got for him. And then Hoiberg, Steve Kerr, former NBA sharpshooter, runs a motion offense, but the secret to the team's success is actually how they play defense. And speaking of defense, Nate Losner, the one-arm guy from The Fugitive, because that guy is the real killer on this team.
I appreciate it. Oh, he gets better each time. I appreciate the call.
Puts it up. That's a walk-off. That's
you
funny.
Go ahead and let that ride, Shado.
Puts it up. God! 2 seconds to go.
First of all, I appreciate Derek's call. We can't be comparing anybody to Jokic. Okay.
Well, I mean, you get what he was
Give
saying.
give me a Sabonis.
Oh, Arvidas or Demantis?
Either one. Good passers, but not
because you missed good Arvidas.
I did, but I've done some deep dives on the USSR tapes. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I think and I like DeMontis' game a lot. Like I'm a big Sabonis.
He's hurt again. I know you're shocked.
Stunned. But like his game, I actually think is more like Rink's, because Jokic does a lot more ball handling than Rink does, and also he's much more kind of dramatic as a passer. Rink makes the right pass, and he's a good passer, and he sees it. He's not doing crazy stuff. Right? I think DeMontis is a much better comp. Maybe Vlade? Do like a Vlade comp?
I'm traumatized.
By Vlade?
Yes.
I mean, you guys always won those. You're fine.
Vlade. We came to Vlade.
You got your guy, Big Shot Bob, in there to take care of things?
Yeah, I'm not a Divac guy.
All right.
No wonder he kept his job so long.
He's a bad general manager for sure. He's a nice ball player, though.
I do like DeMantis. I thought that was going to be a nice sneaky get in that
I did
trade,
too,
because it was kind of blockbuster, because that's the Halliburton one, right?
Yeah. Because they didn't think Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox could play together, which seems like a mistake in hindsight. Maybe, but then they have.
Maybe.
Then they have getting rid of both of them.
Dude, how good is OKC?
So you know what's funny? Obviously, very, very good. What is happening here?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. I think they work here. The funny thing about the OKC thing, which they're incredible, right? And I know I tweeted this out, but this is far too linear. It took Victor Wembanyama 21 minutes of being back in the NBA to be like, we're done here.
Yeah, because he had the back. Was it
his calf?
Calf?
Yeah, he'd been out for a few weeks.
Everybody is terrified of calves now.
I'm terrified. I'm terrified of just Wembanyama being hurt at all, because when he plays, it's one of the most amazing things I think I've ever seen in my life. The things that man does on a regular basis.
And makes it look pretty
super casual.
Normal.
And he's the first time. I actually had.
You could make the case early. They're ahead of schedule.
Oh.
They're like 18-7.
And he hasn't been there for like 12 of those games. That's low key a pretty good roster around him.
Okay. They need another shooter.
Yes, they do. But they're like pretty competitive. Yeah. And I actually had this thought, and ironically, it's a guy that got hurt yesterday. I was watching a game, I think it was a Warrior Spurs game before Wembanyama got hurt. And it was the first time in my life I've felt this way about an NBA player on defense, where I was just terrified of anyone getting within like 5 feet of Wembanyama at any given time. It felt, I swear to you, it's the same.
Don't hurt him.
No, I was afraid of him. Like they couldn't score on him.
Yeah.
It wasn't about him getting hurt. It was like, oh, if you get anywhere near Wembanyama, that you're not scoring. And it was the same feeling I had when the 49ers gave Patrick Mahomes the ball back in the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, we lost.
Did you see the deal where Harrison Barnes, since we're just speaking of Spurs, and he is a former Carolinian, was just randomly buying groceries at the grocery store for people and giving away vouchers.
I'm really happy that he's a nice person. I will forever hate Harrison Barnes.
He took too much money from you?
No.
He should have stayed?
He shot like 12% in those finals against the Cavs. And he was open the entire series. And if he shoots like 18% instead of 12%,
grudges die hard.
They don't die.
So sorry.
I keep those forever. Forever. I will never forgive him.
All right.
I'm sure he's a good person.
He's shooting. What's Wemby shooting from 3?
Oh, a stupid number.
I think it's.
I thought he was shooting well.
It's like 36%, maybe.
You know he's 7'5", right? That's a pretty stupid number.
Is it?
Like contextually, yeah.
Well, he's not going to be contested.
He's at 36. He's 50-36 on his slash line. 50-36-84.
He needs to be better than 50% from the floor.
He needs to have his shot selection be better to. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the one thing, and it's better than it was the last year or 2 years ago whenever he played his full season.
Because that's like Fox, it's Castle, it's Barnes, it's Fastnell, it's Julian Champagne, it's Wembanyama.
Champagne. Yeah, you need him to probably be in the mid 50s, and that's a pure shot selection thing, in my opinion.
So
it has gone up every year, though.
Are you re-changing? You know, because I said I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska could start 2-3 or 1-4 in the Big Ten Conference. How has your mind changed now? Because I think they got, is it Northwestern and Michigan State?
For Nebraska basketball?
Yeah. Who's in between? No, they've got 2 non.
They've got North Dakota, New Hampshire.
That is.
And then they've got Michigan State on the 2nd.
So North Dakota, New Hampshire should get those.
Yeah, it should be 13-0.
And then
Michigan State at home on the January 2nd.
Yeah, definitely need to be at that one.
That's going to be that's a big one. That's a big one.
That's one of those where I'm like, hey, even if I get credentialed, I know I'm not going to get to sit in a good seat. I'll stand.
Yeah. They've got a stretch there.
Boy, that environment will be cooking.
Unbelievable. Like that'll be bouncing. That stretch.
So that'll be the other. So I don't like the long skilled guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna get to see the hyper athletic.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what we talked.
Now I get to see them against their other Achilles.
Yeah, those are the two things we talked about. We think could be problematic for this team is skill with size, and hyper athleticism. We saw them now. A skill with size team that is a little tougher than Illinois still could pose a problem.
Michigan.
Yeah,
that's Michigan.
So, and Michigan's a problem for everybody.
Did you see Arizona's second half?
I didn't. Who did they have?
Bama.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw the score. I didn't watch that one.
I think they were either tied or down at the half. It was 41-39 maybe at the half. Bama.
It was 41-39 Bama.
Yeah.
And then it was not 41-39 Bama.
Dude, seriously.
They dropped 57 in the second half.
I'm telling you.
So aggressive. 57
I was like,
and a half.
Down at half.
57 and a half?
I'm telling you, man.
Good Lord. That's a lot for an NBA game.
Yeah.
God.
Wait, Coach Stokes, the ticket price is for which one? He's probably talking about Michigan State, Nebraska.
I would guess, yeah.
Oh,
that one's
they're high.
That one's
is high. Is that a good guess?
High.
They're high. He's like, oh, it's a lot.
It's probably aggressive.
Hit me, Coach Stokes. How much?
We'll check here in a second.
Have we not taken a break again?
We have not. Yeah.
Sorry, Shane.
It's okay. We're all right, I think.
I think it's okay.
Shane
It's
does.
okay to be positive.
Oh,
too.
yeah, he is talking about MSU.
Shane doesn't care. It's Rico and Austin you got to worry about. Which,
Shane, are you alive? You good?
Did Penn State lose to UCLA?
I think we need to have a discussion about Team Roston.
Well, what's wrong with him or them?
So, TK's quarterback did win the Heisman, and that feels like it should be worth some points.
Oh, we can't make up rules. I love TK.
Listen, I can be Dumbledore at the end of each movie and just give some points away to Gryffindor.
Well, he said 120 for the top row.
It's my game. I can do what I want. 120 for the top row is pretty aggressive.
You can't make up rules.
I literally made up all the rules. That's how the game exists.
Yeah, but we're just giving bonus points for the Heisman, which, man, I don't know. It's one of those years for the Heisman.
We can have a discussion about it. I felt like Pavia should have won.
I like him.
I felt like Pavia should have won.
So do you get bonus points for going?
I felt like
Well, if that's the case, then Suave and Austin got it smoked because they have 2 guys there.
Oh.
Yeah,
right?
Finalist. Yeah, Sayin and Pavia.
Do you remember us chuckling over their sand pick?
Yeah.
And who else?
More. Yeah. Because it was I brought this up with them because they keep going like, oh, you guys didn't even think they were going to start. There were actual battles in camp for both of those guys. Like it was up in the air for a while.
4 to 5 hundos for tickets?
Ooh, that's.
Hey, did you see the licensing thing for volleyball? Where every ticket in the building is $300, and then the seat license is based on where you're sitting.
Oh,
it has become a monster.
I mean, that's how the big boys do it.
They won. It's no longer this little cool grassrootsy program.
No, it is that's a full-on juggernaut.
Back to having this conversation again, though.
Which one?
Got to win one of these.
Certainly do. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back with Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald right coming up next on Hurrdat Sports Live.
I mean, I think it started with our serving and passing, and I don't want to like mispronounce her name, but number one, their middle, like she's a great serve, and she caught us on that for that run. So, I mean, I think we worked all season on being first to 5, first to 10, first to 15, and so on, and we weren't able to do that with her serve. And I mean, credit to her, she's a great serve. So, I mean, yeah, like we really take pride in serve and pass, but I think it caught us up a few times. Oh God, I mean, in moments like that, I feel like most of us probably aren't even thinking, like we're just going back to the basics, and we're all hyper competitive, and I've never actually been in a situation like that with going that far. So, I mean, it's hard, but at the end of the day, like whoever was gonna win that set had more will, and obviously they took it in the 5th, but I think that set showed that we weren't going to just let them take it from us on our home court and in our gym. And it obviously didn't turn out the way we wanted, but I think we showed a lot of fight, and that's something to be proud of.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Just 2 really special individuals. Getting Kiara to come back for the 6th year allowed us to have the run that we had. Not even just Again, her play is really, really good, and I think she's one of the best middles in the country. But what she does beyond that is so much more important to our program. Best leader, best captain, does everything the right way. I know she jokes about being the team mom, and she really is. She's still, even in her 60 years, making sure everyone has the right jerseys and spandex and all those kinds of things. And but also brings so much joy and all those things. And Ava is just... Man, the way she plays and competes is a pleasure to watch. I mean, sometimes in practices and film, the amount of times like my mouth drops watching her play is she's just remarkable. If this is her last college game, I'm excited that she was able to go on this run. Excited to watch her play at the next level. She's earned this opportunity.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
No, there's not a lot we're going to do differently. I think if you have followed my career, one of the things we've prided ourselves on is how hard we play, how physical we play, and we know and do our job. So that's my primary goal. If we can have 11 guys out there that know exactly what they're doing, all right, then we can live with the consequence, right? So that's what I'm doing right now, is making everybody accountable. We're playing physical, fast, and know exactly what we're doing. That's what we're trying to get done. But no, there's not a lot of new defense.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM. Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, how are we doing this morning?
I'm all right. I heard this, so we're not going to talk again until January 5th. So happy holidays and all the rest.
Oh, well, appreciate that, Sam. What a day for the Sam McKEWON household, right? It's Cleveland and Chicago. It's crazy sports coverage. It's volleyball. Yeah. I mean, how are the old emotions revving in the household versus work?
Well, I mean, my wife is firmly on Team Bears when the Browns are this bad. You know what we're hoping. So like I mean, it woed be the same if it were the reverse, you know? And a couple of years ago it was. I think what we hope is that, you know, Shedeur is an answer at quarterback so that, like, you know, you can move forward with him and you don't have to spend yet another draft pick on a quarterback. I don't know if Shedeur is the answer, but, you know, he makes 2 or 3 throws every game. So you're like, well, if he can do all the other things, you know, if he can kind of develop some of the other stuff, he can make the special throw. And yesterday he made a couple of special throws to the Bears. So, you know, like so that's kind of what it is. What is so interesting is the Browns defense has, I don't know, 3 or 4 guys on it that are just awesome. And obviously Myles Garrett's the best of them, but he isn't the only one. And their offense is just a mess. I think they're probably going to have to let the coach go. And I like Stefanski, but it's probably time. And then you go out and get one of these, you know, younger guys from the McVay tree, or I don't know, from from one of those trees, and you try to rebuild it with either around Shedeur or somebody else. I don't think Stefanski really likes Shedeur Sanders, which is part of the problem, because if they had an affinity for him and they're like, yeah, we really want to work with him, I think he'd probably be a little further along.
You mean like he wouldn't have the worst wide receiving core in the league?
Well, he does, yeah. And they don't have a very good one. That's true. But I don't know. That seems really dysfunctional in a match. They're going to build a new stadium away from downtown, and we're not. Molly and I aren't sure if that's a good idea. She doesn't like the decision. So I don't know. Anyway, the Bears won and won handily. The better developments of the day were that the Broncos beat the Packers, so the Bears are back in first, and the Lions lost to the Rams. And so the Bears don't have to win out in order to have a tiebreaker over the Lions if they were to lose the Lions game. So there were some good things that happened. Nebraska volleyball, that's heartbreaking. It takes a very special circumstance for a team that great to lose in that way. And I think Texas A&M having 6 seniors, and obviously the flu-like symptoms going through the Huskers. There's been a few examples in Nebraska's past where something like that has happened, and it's set a team just a little bit off. I was thinking of the '83 Nebraska team right in the Orange Bowl, and I don't think they had the flu or anything, but Miami had 60 days to prepare for the game, and they also had home field advantage, right? And they also had great players. And so it takes a confluence of events for a great team to lose. And when I thought about it, I thought of the '83 Nebraska team. I'm like, that's probably the comp here, except that Nebraska was at home, but they also, they had the flu. So tough day there. And then, Nebraska basketball, Nebraska's a basketball school, and they're going to spend the next 2 weeks both ranked in the top 25 because they're not losing. Nebraska women are not losing to Cal Baptist, although that'll be a homecoming for a local player. And then Nebraska men's basketball is not losing to North Dakota or New Hampshire. And they're not going to drop out of the rankings if they lost to Michigan State. So I'm thinking Nebraska basketball will be top 15 today. That'd be my hunch, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, let me go back to volleyball because you mentioned, the flu, and I was following along on social media after our banquet about the locker room and what was going on. At what point did you know realize, oh shoot, this may be a thing when doctors are actually in the locker room?
Yeah, I didn't find that out until later the evening. I don't know that was communicated. I don't think it was communicated, but to the media that was outside there. So yeah, that's it. I know that they said that Bergen Riley wasn't feeling well, but I think it was a larger group of players than that. And again, it's just super unfortunate that happens at that time. And then you have a player who steps on a ball.
A couple of people saw that real time, right, with the rush of the players going over to her. Yeah,
a couple of the reporters saw it right as it happened, and a couple tweeted it out before the game. So you had what amounted to one of their top subs step on a ball, alley check. And so one of the things that the team had been built on, and this is a good thing, is they had been built on depth all season long. So if something didn't work, DBK was going to put another player in, and that was a player they didn't have. And then they weren't able to take anything off of Campbell Flynn or Bergen Riley because Campbell Flynn broke her finger. So they weren't able to, even give Riley a break against Kansas, right? So let's say for argument's sake, she didn't have to play every set that night, or she didn't have to play any of the sets that night because Campbell Flynn could have led them to victory. That might have given her a little bit more time to reserve her energy for what was clearly a better opponent. And she didn't have it. So now all that said, it was a 5-set match. It was It was an extraordinary match. Nebraska played extraordinarily well and had, they had a chance in the fifth set. And actually, again, I thought the third set would determine the match. I figured Nebraska would win that. Well, I didn't know if they'd win it. But if they did win it, I thought they'd kind of do a reverse sweep because it is so statistically hard to beat Nebraska at Devaney. Before yesterday's loss, Nebraska had won 96.8% of its NCAA tournament matches at Devaney. After the loss, they've won 94.1%. And I had mentioned Rafael Nadal on Twitter. Rafael Nadal has won 96.5% of his matches at Roland Garros, and he's retired, so he'll just go down with 96.5%. I didn't pull it out of nowhere. Like, I knew that was how close the numbers were. And so I would try to put it in that context, that like what happened was, imagine Rafael Nadal, tweaking an ankle and still going 5 sets. That's like how hard Nebraska is to beat in that venue. So there's something that incredible came out of yesterday, even though they lost, like the fact that it was that hard to beat Nebraska, that they gave that much in what I think most people would say is one of the greatest sets of an NCAA tournament match ever. That they were able to give that much and play that hard is really a testament to the team, which is why I think, Busboom Kelly said they maxed out. So it is a heartbreaking end of the season. I'm sure it'll provide a lot of fuel for next year. I'm sure that they haven't maybe even processed, that it happened. But they went 5 sets earlier in the year with Kentucky. And I suspect that, in the Final Four, Kentucky's going to be there. And I'm sure that would have been a great game that I think Nebraska would have won. But I think Nebraska and Kentucky, would have squared off again, and it would have been a real battle. So it's unfortunate for Nebraska, but they have a lot to be proud of this season, and they'll have multiple All-Americans this year, maybe 4, which is pretty amazing.
Sam, how do you kind of, hold both things in your head of how amazing the season was and everything they accomplished versus how it ended and the disappointment on that end? Because I think that's what a lot of people are kind of struggling with right now, because what we saw on Sunday didn't look very much like what we saw for almost all of the season.
Yeah, I think the first thing you have to do is give Texas A&M a lot of credit.
Yeah,
obviously,
their emotions, man, they were tough mentally.
They were. And you heard how much respect, and you heard how much respect the players, Nebraska's players, had for the coach. Because I guess they coached them at USA Volleyball in one of those teams, and so they knew that he was good. You heard the respect that they had before the match for Texas A&M. Dani Busboom Kelly said this is going to be a really hard opponent. So I think she kind of knew that ahead of time. I don't know that any of us probably registered it that way. Probably a lot of people probably didn't register how good 83 Miami was. That's, again, the comp that I come up with is most people would say that if Nebraska won that game years ago, it'd be the greatest college football team of all time. I don't know that it would have been, but I think a lot of people would continue to say that today. But those confluence of events happen. So I don't think it necessarily diminishes Nebraska's greatness, but they do fall short, and I think there was so much shock yesterday that maybe the understanding of how sick the team was and people not wanting to make excuses, I understand how it maybe came off as, well, this was like you said, this wasn't the team that we had seen. Was it an issue of pressure? I really don't think it was. I don't think it was that. I think it was just Texas A&M played really well. The team was a little under the weather. A reserve stepped on a ball before the game, which I don't think I've ever heard of. So obviously that was a fluke deal. And there you have it. It ends fast. So what I think is that the team's gonna rebound, and they're gonna be really good again next year, and maybe just as good as they were this year. You're going to lose Rebecca Alec, and that's really hard.
Yeah, watching her yesterday was tough because I'm a huge fan. Just personally, you know what I mean?
A lot of people. Oh, yeah, a lot of people are. When somebody cares that much, loves.
She has
the
such a
sport,
unique personality. You know, she's a cool student athlete.
Yeah, she is. She cares a lot, and it was obvious. And thought Harper Murray did a really good job of working with Alec in the press conference. I'm not surprised that Harper Murray was good in that setting. She's experienced some things that people know, but she's a really sharp and fundamentally mature person. And so, Harper Murray did a really good job of explaining things in that moment. And I think what you saw in that post-game press conference is, Murray's going to be the captain next year. She's going to be the person who leads the team and is the person who galvanizes and brings that team together. I remember many years ago, I think John Cook said one of his favorite teams was, obviously all the teams that won the national championship, but it was the 2008 team. And they did not win the national title. They lost in 5 sets to Penn State at what's now called
and
the
Penn
CHI.
State was a wagon that year.
Yeah, undefeated, right?
They were. Yeah, they were the greatest, maybe the greatest team of all time. They had not, I don't know that they had lost a set all year until they played Nebraska. And there's this famous moment where they're going into the 5th set and they play the Rocky music over the whatever. And I remember it was, I was at he did some speaking engagement in downtown Omaha, and he was telling the story of it. Damon, I think you might have been there. It's a long time ago.
Oh,
but I
yeah,
think
you know what? I was.
Osborne was there.
Yeah,
and
I was.
there.
I remember that.
So I was at that thing, and he told the story of how the following morning they got up to go to breakfast, and they had not taken their jerseys off. And they all kind of went down, and that was Jordan Larson's senior year. And I can't remember the player who was sort of Amanda Gates' senior year, and so like that was sometimes the teams that really galvanize you, or the ones that he remembered are moments like that. And I think what you're going to see is that this team had a lot of really good memories, just like the team 2 years ago. Although they didn't like how it ended with Texas. They had those incredible memories all year, and I think this team's going to feel the same way, and they'll come to understand that what happened was really tough, but something that they can look back on and appreciate how hard they fought. And next year, I think they'll be back, and they're going to be a perennial contender to win the national title. And how many years?
They were better.
Go ahead.
They were better than this team relative to the sport. But it gives me Texas vibes. I know you fast forwarded to Nebraska 83 because of how good that team was on the national scale. So I get that. But the Texas thing, because I still remember, sitting on that stupid slanted thing for the buses where the players pulled up in because we went in under the stadium. And those, dumb cellophane sandwiches waiting for us on the seat. It was a miserable feeling, right? But that 97 team just remembered they didn't like feeling like that. You know what I mean? And
right.
It was just like, it was just because you don't want to make excuses because Texas made some huge plays, like their inside trap game and some of the stuff they did with those 2-back looks and the 4th, like that was good stuff, right? Even though I know we weren't we were super shorthanded, but Texas was.
Well, Minter was hurt, right? Minter was he was
playing some outside linebacker. Everybody was hurt. He was playing
Who was hurt?
He was playing.
Farley was out.
Yeah,
right. Farley was out. Minter played, but somebody else.
We had two of our D linemen were sick. We were missing an inside. That was the running back by committee game. Nobody was healthy. It was anyway. We just weren't supposed to talk about that stuff, right? It was It's like, hey man, we put ourselves in this position, so nobody really said anything out loud about what we didn't have. I mean, all credit to Texas and their coming out party, but I just know that there's power in if you don't like the way you really feel, much like the 93 team going into 94 and Stewart going bananas after that Florida State loss. Like, it can happen. It can happen where you dial in. So I think anything's possible, even though they probably feel pretty low.
They probably do, which is totally understandable. I think you'll see them rebound. And again, how many years did Duke basketball go without winning a national title despite having great teams? And then when they won one, they won a bunch in a row. Or they won about 5 in 11 years. And that's just kind of how sometimes these things happen, and that's how that's how it's going to be. And it's unfortunate, but Nebraska volleyball will be back. They'll be back probably in PBA, hopefully next August, playing a high profile match against somebody good.
Sam, let me ask you something, because I want to get to the national coaching thing here in a second with William. But I'm going to touch on Nebraska basketball for a sec, just because we weren't enamored. A lot of people weren't enamored with the roster construction, right? We talked about, okay, I can see that they want to shoot it. They want some space. They get mass back. It's very general, but nobody was super optimistic about what it meant for the conference. If we don't just simply say to ourselves, oh, we can't see chemistry, we can't see toughness, like the intangibles that they're obviously playing with, the connectedness. Yeah. If we're not using that as our out, are we only left that Coach Hoiberg's a pretty good coach?
Well, that's certainly a big part of it. And you have to also marry a good coach to a team that suits his eye. And I will say this: if you were to ask people that covered the program, so like our beat writer Wilson Moore, Husker Online's Robin Washit, a few other people, I think they would all say, and I know that Wilson, he picked Nebraska higher than the field did.
I thought a lot of that have to do with after the BYU exhibition. So yeah, you might be right, but I think.
Well, no, they did that in the media days. So like it was weeks before. Yeah, it was probably like a week before BYU, but like and I encourage you to chat with Wilson. Like, yeah, they thought that this team, they all kind of.
You know what? You're right, because there was a lot of eye rolling over the sunshine pumping seemingly of Frager, because those guys were seeing practices. Remember, and they were and they were pretty high on some of Nebraska's pieces, and I think some of the cynics were like, "Yeah, well, come on." Yeah, you're right. I do remember that now.
I think the thing that like Wilson understood and some of those other people understood is that last year's team was a reaction to the Texas A&M loss. So they went out and they got a couple of guys that were pretty burly and, weren't great shooters. Now, Hoiberg always thinks he can fix that, and that's great, but they didn't shoot very well last year. And I think, what Wilson would probably say is, well, they went back out and they got back closer to their identity with Sanford and with a couple other guys. And so, and I thought Jamarcus Lawrence was a big addition to return, because I always really liked his game and
his maturity.
And I thought they missed him. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's great.
He's got some poise.
He does. He's great. And I always liked him. I had to kind of pinch hit and cover the program back when he was a freshman, because our beat writer went to Cleveland. And I just remember he was a freshman that year, and he kind of got pushed into play because Vanderbilt got hurt. But I just remembered appreciating his focus and his desire to be good. And so I figured, I didn't know if they were going to finish like 8th in the league. And I think a couple of these people are like, actually, they're an NCAA tournament team. I think I had them like 18 and 13, but the reality is they fit their coach really well. Rink Mast is a unique leader. I mean, he's a good leader.
Yeah. They won without his A game on the road too, which they got to be pumped about.
Yeah, he's a almost like a coach leader. And I know that, Cale Jacobson's kind of a coach, and Sam Hoiberg's going to be a coach. And, Sam does some great things on the floor. And, of course, Sanford, you never want to forget that he scored 32 points in the game. I mean, it matters. So it matters what he did in the first half, even though the second half was more thrilling. I think this team fits Hoiberg's personality, and I think he needs 300, 400 level players, graduate student level players. The youngest guy on the court at the end of the game was Sanford, and he was 21. There were two 24-year-olds and two 22-year-olds and a 21-year-old. Now there are some nights in the NBA where that is the age of the players on the court. It's true. I actually think the Thunder could start a lineup that's about that old. Maybe it's a little older than that, but not much. And so that's a basketball team. That's a group of grown men. And Jared Garcia has come out of nowhere the last 2 weeks, and it's like, oh yeah, well, he's played basketball for 6 years. He knows what to do. And the level of understanding that those players have and what Hoiberg wants, I think it cuts out a lot of the, they don't probably have to spend much time on the things that a coach of a young team has to spend time on. And he's got them really well connected, and they're hitting shots. It's pretty cool, like Amy Williams has an undefeated team too. They're also kind of old in certain spots, but they're also kind of young in spots.
They defend, man.
They do. And they're good at, they have a lot of depth, and they know they have a ton of depth. And so how many teams in college basketball can literally have two waves of post players? They do. How many teams in college basketball have literally two waves of guards? They do. She went out and, they're playing 12, 13 players a game. And I know they're blowing teams out, and that rotation will shrink as they play USC in a couple of weeks, but they have an incredible depth. I don't know that Nebraska has the men have quite that, but what they have is incredible.
When they get health, like when they get everybody healthy, Nebraska should be able to play now.
The men?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm curious to see how that all works with reworking in. I'll just say his name is Oogie. Other people have.
Yeah, they get him, I think he comes back this week too, right?
Right. Wilson has mastered the full pronunciation, which is impressive.
I mean, Leo Curtis hasn't been fully healthy. Like they'll have Garcia still coming, playing meaningful minutes now. Like they'll have some options.
They will. I don't know that they're going to play a more physical and taller team than they just did with Illinois.
Michigan is right there.
Yeah, they are. That's true. So, I don't know that they obviously need more, because rink mass is going to get worn down if you keep throwing them out there and you don't have guys taking minutes off, but off his minute load. But anyway, it's going to be exciting. They have 2 weeks here to really rest up. Fred has done a good Lou Holtz impression of, North Dakota puts its jersey on one arm at a time or whatever. And I get it. And he's going to keep them focused, but they're going to win their next 2 games. And then they are going to go through one of the toughest stretches of Big Ten basketball imaginable. And I think they've got the horses to deal with it. They got Michigan State. They got Ohio State. Wish I could remember the other 2 games. It's hard attack. And they're gonna need the rest over the next 2 weeks to go into that, because this is no longer a team that's just hoping to make the NCAA tournament. This is a team that could I don't know what the closest venue is to Lincoln at this moment. I guess I could look it up on my phone, but they got a shot at getting at one of those venues, like 200 miles away versus going to, Tampa or whatever for the first and second round.
That is, you got one more?
Yeah, last one here, Sam. With what's going on with Michigan and the coaching search and coaches that get names, not names, we heard Jed Fish do his best to keep himself in the hunt. Kyle Whittingham got floated. It's just like any chance you could see Whittingham being a distraction for Utah, or is that kind of wishful thinking for me?
I guess if he took the job at Michigan, that would definitely be a distraction for
Where
Utah.
do you think the rumblings come from?
I don't think he'd be coaching the game. I think they just give it to the guy, Morgan Scalley, who's taken over. I don't know. That's a good question. I know Whittingham would go in there and I think he's known as a guy that's disciplined and would bring that thing together pretty quick.
So let me ask you something. If you're Michigan, are you trying to go anti? Because we've seen admin do that, right? Where you go anti what's ailed. Do you think they just go super buttoned up, squeaky clean? Like, what do you think happens in terms of the fit?
They might. What's happened there is really sad, one thing, and it's also just I don't honestly, Damon, I don't know. That I know that yesterday there was reporting that they launched an inquiry into the entire athletic department.
Yeah,
I don't know if a week or two from now, there's not. It could be a Biff Poggi. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
He could be the guy all next year. I could see.
Yeah, just
I
to
could
let the dust settle.
Oh yeah, like they might just say, hey, he's going to be the coach, and we're gonna, just start over next year because maybe this could affect more than just the head coach. This could affect the athletic department, the AD there. Look, there's no easy way around it. I mean, that football program has supplied them with a number of tremendous scandals. The sign stealing thing, okay, but the coach that accessed the identity theft on the school computers and of course this situation's not good. Like I don't know who knew what when, but this situation is really bad, and I could see that. Now some of their other sports are doing just great, but I could see them, moving on from the AD if they don't feel like they can attract a coach, or they feel like he's somehow culpable. I don't know that to be true, but that football program's been a real, Michigan was always sort of, if you compare Michigan and Ohio State, this is my impression since they got into the Big Ten. Like, Michigan views itself differently. It views itself as sort of a, we maybe don't win as much as Ohio State, but we do it right. We have 4.0 GPAs. We raise Michigan men.
I think self-righteous is the term you're looking for.
There's nothing about the last 5 or 6 years up there that would indicate that they're operating on anything like that. And so if they, and I don't think Ohio State operates like that. Now, I'm not saying that Ohio State's done anything wrong, but they hired Urban Meyer with their eyes wide open about who he was, and and of course the predictable things happened under Urban Meyer's watch. And I'd argue the program's actually in some ways been more stable the last however many years under Ryan Day, because a lot of that stuff doesn't happen. But Ohio State, I don't think has ever kind of presented itself that way. I think Michigan has, and that what they present is different from what we've seen. And so I could see Michigan's Board of Regents, or whatever it's called, Board of Trustees, making some pretty big changes. But that would affect the coaching. Now, Jed Fish would be an example of somebody you could maybe bring in and say, well, Jed's gonna get us back on track. It's
a Fish, a Dillingham gets mentioned. Sure.
Yeah, I would think Kenny Dillingham would stay at Arizona State and stay away from this job. But
what if I'm afraid they'll let Biff coach this next year, and then wait for Eck to win again at New Mexico and go hire Eck.
They might. Wisconsin might have an opportunity to do that too, and so he may have multiple choices at his disposal. I think if you're a Nebraska fan, you would rather see Eck at Michigan than Wisconsin. But
interesting,
because I think Eck would be very good and would probably recruit well in this region. So isn't this interesting? So a lot of these kids that were committed to Iowa State are not going to be Penn State Nittany Lions.
Yeah, it's not a good that I don't. A lot of those guys, Sam, are looking for schools too.
A couple of them are, yeah.
So it's like, I think I need to. I want to hope. I'm hoping that somebody grabs Marion Jackson. And
good football player.
He's a really good football player. I think
you don't
Bryce,
think they'll all just go to Penn State?
No, I don't. It was tight. I mean, I know Bryson Williams is going. He's ours, and
Chapman, the Lincoln North Star player, is going.
So it's it won't be all of them, that's for sure.
They can always go back. I mean, they got a pretty good coach at Iowa State to replace Matt Campbell.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like Jimmy was on board. I don't want to speak for Coach Rogers because he recruits the area, but the guys seem as though it wasn't an option for some of them.
I think.
So I don't. Again, that's a little messy.
They're going to go portal.
Yeah,
they're going to go portal and try to build it fast.
Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah, just help us get the signing day moved back to February and the portal day to May. Let's just start there.
I agree. And Matt Rhule laid all that out. If you made Matt Rhule, I think he should stay Nebraska's football coach. But if you made him the commissioner of college football, I think a lot of things would get cleaned up pretty fast. Not every coach has that great a grasp on the landscape of the sport. Like, I try to pay attention to things like that. I don't really think Lane Kiffin has that good of a grasp on it. He's smart, but I don't know that he really has the greater good in mind. I think Matt Rhule actually has the greater good of the sport in mind.
He recruits that way.
And he could clean the sport up as a commissioner. I'm not kidding. Like, Lane Kiffin would create a double tier meritocracy that's like the Premier League in soccer. He's smart, but he wouldn't do it in a way that preserved anything. But I think Matt Rhule would actually, if you said, hey, just give us a 10-point plan on how to fix this thing without throwing NIL and rev share out the window, I think he could give you 8 or 9 points and maybe 10. And if everybody followed him, I think the sport would be in a better place. He's just one of those guys that's able to think about it and really not just think about his own self-interest, but think about everybody else's. I think that's one of his strengths as a leader. And we'll see how that plays out in terms of their staff. I think their staff hires have been pretty good so far. And I'm very curious to see if Manning ends up being the defensive line coach or if they go out and get a defensive line coach and Manning is the edges coach. But I think he went and got coaches this time that are just a little bit different than maybe the guys he's gotten in recent years. And I don't know. I've heard good things about the defensive
seem to be a lot
so
closer to his personality too.
For sure. Yep. Well, they are. Yeah, I agree. I think you could put Jeep Wade and Rob Orich in the same room. I don't know that people would say they're exactly the same, but they might be like two halves of the Rhule coin, so to speak.
Yeah, the building's definitely going to have juice. I know that.
That's good. They need that.
Right.
It needs it.
They will be accountable in that building.
And do you feel like, okay, so like the former offensive line coach and the former defensive coordinator, like, I don't know, like, they're good coaches. I don't know that juice is the word. Like, I think they're both stern, I don't know. Maybe
I think it's more, I look at it kind of like this, Sam. I think whatever your temperament is at the top, if it doesn't, if you're not controlling, like moving every chess piece, then you need to have the pieces surround you that offset your weaknesses. Like, so if you're super cerebral and philosophical, then you need a grit, fundy guy. Ideally, you have both. But if you're a grit, fundy guy, you need somebody that can actually like talk to players and handle the recruiting aspect of it. You know what I mean? Ideally, you're all of it, but you better be cognizant to know where you need the holes filled in is kind of how I would look at it. And I just think a couple of cerebral guys like Braden and Butler were going to lend itself to, I mean, it could just get away from you from an accountability standpoint. You know what I mean? Just I'm just kind of spitballing out loud.
I get that. Yeah,
I'm just basing it. I base it off of, when Coach Rhule said, I think the offensive line, the way that he teaches it will better mesh with what Dana wants to do, right? Because you may need a different type of voice, even though Dani was really good at what he did. It had to be something a little more different that accentuated Dana. You know what I mean? That's where I'm kind of piecing it together.
Yeah, I do. I'm curious to hear. I think Dana will talk tomorrow. What Dana thinks of that statement? Like, what does Rhule mean? Obviously Dana approved of the hire, and Dana Holgorsen is a head coach. I mean, he isn't, but he is. Like, he's been a head coach for more than 10 years. So, what does he think that means? And like, how might the offense function better, or differently, with Chief Wade as the offensive line coach? I know, that'll be interesting to me, because Holgorsen is obviously not the head coach at Nebraska, but he has a head coach's mindset. And as an offensive coordinator last year, he helped the team protect the defense, because Dana Holgorsen can call a 40-point offense in sleep, and he didn't do that. He protected that defense the way he called games. But I'm sure he'd like to get to a point where, like, he can call the kind of offense he wants to call without it sacrificing, 35 points on the defensive side of the ball. If they ever get there, they're going to be really good, because Holgorsen's a really good play caller and knows how to turn the dial up when he has the defense to do it.
That's our guy, Sam McKEWON from the Omaha World-Herald. Sam, great stuff as always. We appreciate the time, and enjoy your holidays. We'll talk to you in the new year.
All right, we'll see you out in Las Vegas, Dan.
All right,
take care.
Thanks, Sam.
That is Sam McKEWON for the last time this year.
I am not excited about that.
You don't want to spend a week in Vegas?
I do not. Not even remotely.
I'm sure you can get some sushi DoorDash to the room.
It's not even going to be a week, though, so don't stretch the extra 2 days.
5 days. 5 days. Sorry.
You can get some Raider gear.
No, I will eat close to him. I will not. There will be no one on this travel party that will say they saw me on the strip ever.
You going to try and hit some of the buffets, or no? You're not a buffet guy?
No. I mean, if I want to eat, I'm going to probably go closer to Henderson. Or I just, I'm only going to probably eat once a day, so I don't have to get out much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it mapped out. I've been there enough.
I got the plan.
Yep.
Ready to go. That's DB. I'm Ravi. A little more Hurrdat Sports Live coming up next.
Well, she's watching Sam Hoiberg. I mean, I don't know. We watched that Illinois game, and he came away with a huge offensive rebound yesterday that kept the possession alive. And, I think whether it's Kennedy or lots of other players that I thought Haley Weaver gave us just a major spark with offensive rebounds. Those kids, Haley and Kennedy in particular, have the opportunity to have free reign at offensive boards because we ask them to pick up the ball in the backcourt. So that gives them a little more freedom to go crash the boards. And so, I'm not saying that that's going to be Kennedy's forte, but it's great to see a couple hustle plays there.
we challenged them at halftime. And, I thought our guys responded beautifully coming out of the locker room and got the lead back and ended up getting momentum and then just continued to withstand runs. And, we could not shut them off in the second half. Stojakovic was unbelievable, getting to the rim, running ISOs for him. Baseline out of bounds. I was hoping we wouldn't have many more of those because he was scoring it every time. But then we found a way to get a couple big stops. And, we never panicked. And that's a credit to our guys for the first time for us playing on the road in a hostile environment. This is one of the great crowds in the country. And they were into it big time. Brad Underwood is as good a coach as any in the country. And our guys just kept going. And they showed great resiliency. They never, they never had their heads down in huddles. They had great body language, and we just kept going out there. But to play in this type of environment for the first time and withstand all the runs that they threw at us and find a way for Jamarcus. Last play, Robin, we drew up, it was either Sam or Jamarcus, whoever Boswell wasn't guarding.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Evan, we appreciate it as always. Enjoy the game this weekend. Are you going?
Yep, I'll be there. Do you want a prediction?
Yeah, let's get it. What do we got?
Yeah, Illinois by 1 million.
Okay.
In my unbiased opinion.
All right.
So
see, this is why DB doesn't text you back.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you, if you've got any auto body repair needs, give our friends over at Dingman's a visit. Dingmans.com is where you can find out all about them. And what you'll learn is that they've been voted first place best of Omaha for 20 straight years for auto body repair. And there's a reason for that, whether it's the convenient locations, the fact that they're family owned and operated, or the cutting edge technology to make their expert repairs. They've got you covered every step of the way. It's dingmans.com. Make sure you go check them out, Dingman's Collision Center.
Hi.
What's up?
Just making fun of Evan. So Evan said I didn't text him back. I texted him back.
I think Evan is not familiar with – I think you got off to a very good start with Evan in terms of responses.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had unrealistic expectations in terms of what it was like to communicate with you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I have to call Evan.
It's all right. He's
text Evan.
He can be a sensitive soul.
Aw.
He's a good guy.
He has to be. So how would you like to be an Illinois fan? I mean, not that I'm. Well, I would be compassionate for Evan. This is 2 years in a. No, it's early for this year. So
yes.
But the pressers and the post game are giving me last year vibes
of like they can't quite figure out how to win with all the talent.
3 years ago, you had one of the best players in the country that ended up kind of being different, hit the portal, and it was a K-State thing, and that team was supposed to be good. This is like 2.5 years now, and I say half because this team can still get it going.
Yeah,
but getting good players in the building has not been a problem for Illinois. So I could see where you'd be excited as a fan. Nebraska kind of punched them in the mouth a little bit, and they weathered the storm on the road. So that's a game. If you've got good, strong, that's a game Illinois wins.
Yeah, I was super impressed with Nebraska in there because it's sort of weird, right? When you've got a guy that goes just nuclear the way Sanford did, but you're not out by so much that the game's not just over immediately.
Yeah, to go to the half tied at home, you had to feel like
and if you're Nebraska, very easy to feel demoralized in that situation.
And then Nebraska stretched it again.
Yep, and then they came back again,
ran them down again.
Yeah,
and then you don't I don't know, man. I may get off of Illinois earlier this year than I have the last 2 years.
I mean, what do I say to you every time you ask me about Illinois?
Yeah, I know.
It's never a talent thing, ever. It is. I don't trust Brad Underwood. I don't trust the way these teams play for Brad Underwood. It just doesn't ever he sort of gives me Brian Kelly vibes, where it's just like, yeah, we're all here. We like being here. We don't particularly love our coach. Not sure how hard we want to play for this guy.
Would you have gotten into the last couple of days of practice, or that was just part of the answer, do you think?
I don't know.
You sound so whiny.
He does.
No, you.
Oh, me?
I don't know.
Ravi?
I think there's.
Wait, why?
Me?
Why are you?
Who, me? I was double checking. Because this is single checking. This is double checking.
I need to see at least one of those tonight if the Steelers are going to win.
Double check. A discount?
Yeah.
No, I think there's. I don't trust that Brad Underwood has said that stuff to his team already.
Oh.
That's the difference for me. Because when Coach Rhule says it, I am fully confident they have heard that so many times that he feels like this might be the only way they'll listen. Right? So none of it's new, none of it's surprising, and none of it is new information to anybody. When Underwood does it, I kind of get the sense, and maybe this is unfair, I don't know him, right? But I kind of get the sense that might be the first time they're receiving that information, which makes it a totally different deal.
You think that's the first time he knew he didn't have a good 2 days of practice?
I think it's maybe the first time he's told anybody.
Good point.
Maybe he knew 2 days ago, and maybe he didn't really communicate that in a way that was useful.
Did you go back to the one streaming service that you had originally?
Yeah, I'm back on YouTube TV.
Okay, so I wasn't going to give him any advertising.
I mean, it is what it is.
Maybe. I need you to go back and watch that Arizona. It was later, that Arizona-Bama game.
Oh, yeah.
And then I want you to pit it against Michigan State, Michigan, and Gonzaga.
Okay.
Gonzaga's better than how Michigan treated them.
I think almost everybody.
They got blitzed. No, but hang on, though. Michigan has smoked just about everyone.
So that's what I was going to say is I think everyone is a little better than Michigan has treated them.
Yeah.
Michigan is killing people. So, I mean, let's go through Auburn. I don't know how you feel about Auburn.
I like but don't love Auburn.
They lost they beat Auburn by 30. They beat Gonzaga by 40. I think Villanova's okay. They beat them by 28.
Oh, and I think that was worse than the score, though. I think at one point, no, that might be about right. That might have been about the consistent margin.
San Diego State's okay. They lost by 40.
San Diego State can't score. You talk about a bad matchup.
Yes, terrible matchup.
Because Michigan defends, especially at the rim.
So you look at this, you go, I think just about everybody that's had to deal with Michigan is probably
Give me another one. I like Louisville.
Michigan hasn't played Louisville.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh,
like, good.
Gotcha. I mean, Iowa State's done this to some teams.
Yeah, Iowa State's
like Purdue's certainly better than what Iowa State did to them.
Yeah,
like that was horrifying to like that was a.
But I was kind of with Nick that he said I just have a hard time when I have to put my chips in, not pushing them towards Purdue, even though I know what I saw. Carson, like they have all the pieces.
Okay, let me ask you this though. When has that not been true?
Well, they win a lot. What do you
they do win a lot, and I feel like I can't trust them.
Because they only get to the Final Four?
That happened once, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but like this is a team that often does not live up to expectations. This is a very, very good regular season basketball team every year.
I'll give you that. And
then it seems like there is some disconnect, whether it's matchups, whether it's style, whatever it is, that they don't seem, even when they've got like the really good guards, you go, okay, that should be the thing that figures it out over the course of the NCAA tournament because guard play wins, and they go, oh, nah, that still didn't do it. So I don't know what to do with Purdue because when I watch them, I'm like, yeah, I understand wanting to put your chips in for Purdue, but then I have to remember it's Purdue though, and maybe that shouldn't matter, but it's hard to get out of my head.
They're pretty good.
I agree.
I've got 16, Elite 8, Sweet 16, runner up, Sweet 16, and that's just from 17 on.
Okay, but what were their seed? Going to the Sweet 16 as a 1 seed is a failure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So that's the difference.
Even though they weren't, they were only 24-12 last year, but
right. But so, I mean, like,
but made it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, so that's a solid result for them last year. But some of those Elite 8 and Sweet 16 teams, like, was a profound disappointment.
So who else do you think is good?
I think
we only have two really good teams in the Big East.
I think Iowa State's really good. I think Michigan's obviously really good. I think Gonzaga's really good. I think
go back to the Big Ten real quick.
The Big Ten?
Yeah, what do you think?
Michigan. I do think Purdue's good. I think Michigan State's good. Are
you going to wait on SC?
Yeah, wait and see. I think Nebraska's really good.
I
mean, there's nowhere around that. Nebraska's really good. I don't know where they are, like third, fourth, wherever, but probably can't put them a lot below fourth. We're going to talk to Ryan Fowler coming up next with a little NFL here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
Well, she's watching Sam Hoiberg. I mean, I don't know. We watched that Illinois game, and he came away with a huge offensive rebound yesterday that kept the possession alive. And, I think whether it's Kennedy or lots of other players that I thought Haley Weaver gave us just a major spark with offensive rebounds. Those kids, Haley and Kennedy in particular, have the opportunity to have free reign at offensive boards because we ask them to pick up the ball in the backcourt. So that gives them a little more freedom to go crash the boards. And so, I'm not saying that that's going to be Kennedy's forte, but it's great to see a couple hustle plays there.
we challenged them at halftime. And, I thought our guys responded beautifully coming out of the locker room and got the lead back and ended up getting momentum and then just continued to withstand runs. And, we could not shut them off in the second half. Stojakovic was unbelievable, getting to the rim, running ISOs for him, baseline out of bounds. I was hoping we wouldn't have many more of those because he was scoring it every time. But then we found a way to get a couple big stops. And, we never panicked. And that's a credit to our guys for the first time for us playing on the road in a hostile environment. This is one of the great crowds in the country. And they were into it big time. Brad Underwood is as good a coach as any in the country. And our guys just kept going. And they showed great resiliency. They never, they never had their heads down in huddles. They had great body language. And, we just kept going out there. But, to play in this type of environment for the first time and withstand all the runs that they threw at us and find a way for Jamarcus. Last play, Robin, we drew up, it was either Sam or Jamarcus, whoever Boswell wasn't guarding.
A successful financial future is built one coin at a time. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned saver, we've got the financial resources and team of experts who will be with you every step of the way. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
3rd and 12 for the Chiefs. Away with the block, and here's the pass, and it was picked off. Henley got the ball. Dean Henley will take it the other way. Have they blown it dead? They have it the 1. Brogan kind of stumbles, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Van Noy. Then the handoff, it's Gilman, and Gilman is going to score as the Ravens look for the knockout punch.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. We are joined now by Ryan Fowler. He's an NFL analyst and host of Commanding the Huddle. Ryan, how are we doing this morning?
Doing well. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Ryan, how are we feeling? Are we going to move past the injuries or the fact that the Chiefs, well, and it's in conjunction with the injury, but like it's this time of the season and the Chiefs aren't in the playoffs. Like, which one are we having a tougher time adjusting to?
Yeah, I'd say first thing off, guys, I mean, when you're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, everybody around outside of the Midwest is probably happy, right, to see the Chiefs out of the playoffs. Personally, for me, I'm not. It's a real shame, guys, to the NFL as a whole, that when you look at yesterday, arguably the two biggest stars on either side of the ball, right, with Mahomes and Micah Parsons, you lose them both for the year. It's just not good for football at the end of the day. But when you look at Kansas City and the narrative surrounding them all year long, and really for over the last few years, it's always been looking number 15 under center, and as long as you have him, you have a shot. But the way that they have just not been able to play complementary football this year, and that really showed up again yesterday in that ball game where the Chargers were playing a lot of press man, forcing their speedsters on the outside to get off the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes can't do it all himself. The ground game sputtered. The defense at times just didn't make the best plays. I just think when you look at this Chiefs roster, yes, you're on to 2026. Their injuries are a shame. But you've had such a long run of success, and now it's working forward to 2026. Add some more players in this draft to move forward into the next fall.
Let me ask you something real quick. Because I don't really want to turn this into Chiefs radio and not take advantage of the national skills. But for them, there's two things that are interesting. Number one, the front office has been fantastic. So it's hard to poke holes at the money management and the draft necessarily, especially when you've been this successful picking where they do. But is there a degree of difficulty in drafting maintenance and fill-in guys?
I think that's a great question. I'll say this, in that the Chiefs over the last few years, have had that luxury to look at the board at times late on night one and say, hey, look, we can maybe add the best player available here. Now, we can raise questions as far as how they've addressed that with guys like Felix Anudike-Uzomah, or a guy I really liked coming out last year of Ashton Jalot, and how they've tried to add guys. But I feel like they've been consistently, of course, outside of the ability to add a true blue chip type of player in the top 10 to 12 picks. But now this year it's going to be interesting, guys, where they really look at this roster and say, we need a contributor right away at this spot.
It's weird. They need a running back.
They do, right. But
will Reed use him?
Say it again?
Will Reed use him?
I mean, look, I think you're in the spot, again, that I mentioned my point earlier. You are in a luxury spot. If you think, hey, we love Jeremiah Love, he's the clear RB1 in this class. I don't think if you're sitting there in the mid-teens, right, that he potentially may be there. He may be a guy that goes in the top 10 picks. That's your guy, and you want to take pressure off of Patrick Mahomes moving forward, then absolutely go get your guy. But I just think, guys, it's going to be interesting to where Brett Beach has done a great job. I don't think anybody's going to disregard that. But how he's going to allocate these assets, both from a cap perspective and in the draft, where does he seem fit now in a new spot that he's really not used to, specifically on night one of the draft?
Okay, so Ryan, this is largely anecdotal, but also kind of spawned from this Chiefs discussion. Why does it seem so hard for teams that are winning long-term to draft functional wide receivers?
That's kind of what it's hard.
Like we've seen teams do it well. Like the Steelers for a long time did it really, really well. They just found wide receivers everywhere, right? It seems like the Rams are doing it pretty well. But I think of the Patriots specifically and then the Chiefs, and it seems like there's this blind spot where they just cannot figure. Is like the quarterback too good where you just think anybody can work, or like is it just a purely anecdotal small sample size thing?
I think it's absolutely a part of that, guys. I think it absolutely is. Now, I think there's also questions looking at Pittsburgh as well over the last few years, the receivers that they have drafted. Look at Calvin Austin. You look at Roman Wilson, both guys that have not lived up to expectations, right? But you're absolutely right as far as in years past. We could even talk about Chase Claypool of years ago.
Yeah.
But when you look at the receivers right now that they have in the room, they're all very similar skill sets. They're very parallel, in my opinion. Now, Rashee Rice is a little bit different, and Travis Kelce is damn near 40 years old, and that's probably a situation you have to upgrade on. And obviously right now you look at every mock draft across the country, and it's probably, Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon going there in the mid-teens, which I think they don't have to go there in the mid-first round. But when you look at the receiver position, they got to get a guy on the outside. I don't know if they have that guy. I like Rashee Rice. I like some of the complementary skill sets. But I don't know if Patrick Mahomes can drop back and say, look, I can go to this guy no matter what. And that's been 87 at tight end. And by having a guy on the outside as a true X receiver, you can then open up everything else for your complementary pieces to be those three-level vertical threats that open up the ground game, which has not been a threat, as you guys know, really all of this year. So I think overall it comes down to, yes, the receiver position comes down to correlating success with what you have at the quarterback position, saying, hey, we have Patrick Mahomes, it's going to work no matter what. But at the end of the day, there's just a flat-out difference between can you play and can you not. And looking at some of the players right now on this roster at receiver, yes, they're fast, but as far as fundamental receivers and in the press man window that the Chargers did yesterday, it wasn't good enough at the bottom line.
Yeah, full disclosure, it looks good now, but this was my lock of the week. I had no idea. I couldn't figure out how Buffalo wasn't going to beat New England, and then it was 21-0. I was like, oh, Vegas is fairly smart. But having said that, I look at Buffalo and listening to what you're describing about Kansas City, and listen, Shakur and Palmer and Ty Johnson. Well, I mean, Ty Johnson's out of the backfield, but the number ones don't wow you. They have good tight end play, but they've been able to get away with it up to this point. For you, what's the fundamental difference? Is it the willingness to hand it to James Cook? Is it what do you think? How is, when you look at Buffalo, because I think Kansas City may be, personnel standpoint, they're a better defense than Buffalo. Can't stop the run. How do you think Buffalo does it?
Yeah, look, when you look at James Cook, I think that, guys, that's where it starts, specifically this time of year. And you guys know the story with Buffalo. I could care less what Buffalo does in the regular season. What are they going to do when it comes to playoff time, right?
It's
when
sad, but you're right. It's gotten to that point.
Right. And yesterday, they hand the ball off to James Cook 22 times, and they've done that pretty much the entirety of the year. And that's a good thing because we can talk about Patrick Mahomes all day long as far as taking some pressure off him and take some pressure off of Josh Allen yesterday. The guy's vomiting on the sideline because he had to do so damn much yesterday.
Yeah.
Poor guy. And he's got to do everything for the roster. But at the end of the day, hand the ball off to your guys. If you're a team that can't run the football, you're going to run into struggles in the postseason because at some point you have to be able to be a complementary football team and run the rock. And then on the outside, by no means is any defense, to look at the New England yesterday, did they go into that game saying, hey, we have to prepare for Khalil Shakir and Josh Palmer and Dawson Knox.
Yeah.
But they just they don't do that. But when you're a team from a playbook perspective that can expand you horizontally because the speed of Cook, they can go at you with a guy when Ray Davis is healthy up the middle, Josh Allen and his legs, and then they can hit you over the top because they have some guys that can run a little bit, then that makes an offense a three-level threat. So I just think their willingness to do so, their expansiveness in the ground game to play QB counter, to have QB sweep, those different types of things, and then you got the guy in the backfield that's arguably been one of the best backs in football. It's a really nice option to have specifically this time of year when it starts to get really cold.
Ryan, I'm going to ask a question that we ask our NFL guests almost every week. Is Jacksonville good?
Great question, first off.
I'm glad he asked it before because I certainly was going to ask it. I ask it every week.
I'll leave you the other one we always ask.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell, hey, is Jacksonville a real ball club or not after this week, after Denver? Because everyone's kind of over their heels right now saying, hey, look, they beat the Jets. They beat the Colts when Daniel Jones got hurt. They beat the Titans. Yeah, but they also got demolished by the Rams at home earlier in the year, and they lost by 8 to the Seahawks at home. When I look at this Jaguars team, I'm happy that Trevor Lawrence is starting to figure it out a little bit. But really, it's this week. Who are you as a football team? What is Trevor Lawrence going to do when he's trailing middle portions of the fourth quarter, down 7? Can you lead a drive when you're starting at your own 10? Can you do that in moments like this? What is this pass rush going to do when teams really begin in the playoffs, potentially, to chip guys like Josh Hines Allen, make him rush twice, where at times yesterday he won a lot in isolation because of how bad the Jets could be at times at their tackle spots, even though they have some nice young players. So I'm not ready, guys, to say, man, Jacksonville's sensational. They're one of the top teams in the AFC. That, for me, is potentially going to come after this week where they face this defense with this young running back core Jacksonville has with Travis Etienne and Bashal Tutin, who got in the end zone yesterday, rookie out of Virginia Tech. Then we'll be able to talk about and separate really the who's who of the AFC, where I do feel like now there's a lot of questions, and it's wide open, which, of course, comes back to with Patrick Mahomes not being in the playoffs anymore for the buzzsaw that he's been for so many years.
I feel like these two teams are on opposite ends of the spectrums of the just wait. One is just wait, they inevitably will tank, and the other one is just wait, they'll inevitably get going. So I'll ask you, who's closer to their record? 7-7 Tampa Bay or 10-4 Chicago?
I'll say Baker Mayfield has not played good football the last 2 months, guys. I will say that. When I look at Chicago, I think what they've done this year, again yesterday, where Rome Odunze is a late scratch in that football game where 20 minutes before kick, you realize he's out, and the way that DJ Moore stepped up and the tight ends that they've added, Luther Burden had a good game, and they're continuing to feed the ground game.
And Caleb Williams doesn't turn the ball over, man.
He doesn't. And I think that's also a credit to Ben Johnson as far as saying, hey, look, we've added all of these weapons. And, guys, I cannot say enough about the big boys up front. Like, they paid Joe Thuney. He hasn't allowed a sack in over 565 pass pro snaps this year. He's been absolutely sensational. They're keeping him clean. And by keeping him clean, you're allowing him to make throws like he did yesterday to the backside of the end zone to DJ Moore. He's able to be himself. And then this defense is flying around. And I also want to give credit to Al Harris, their DB's coach. They don't have tons of DBs on that roster, but they fly around. They got some young safeties that can play low. They can play high.
They turn you over.
Out to the perimeter. They turn you over to get the ball back and more chances for this offense where they've added a ton of playmakers. So I'll say Chicago, and I'm interested to see what they do come playoff time because Caleb Williams has not seen, the extra bright lights of the postseason yet. But I'll say the 10-4 Chicago Bears.
So we started in the AFC West with Kansas City. I'll return there with the team that eliminated them from the playoffs yesterday in the Chargers.
It's a weird team.
Again, I ask you a very simple question. Are the Chargers good?
I like Justin Herbert. I do, guys. I know we could sit here all day and say he hasn't won anything. When I
like him.
Ever.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I don't like him. I do like Justin Herbert, and I do like the playmakers that they have on offense. Specifically, a guy I really like coming out of the draft, and Rhule Gadsden and what he's been for this offense this year. But it's really been the front seven, some of the guys that have stepped up on defense for them yesterday, specifically Tuli Tuipulotu at the edge. I think he's one of the more underrated. He's awesome. I think he's one of the more underrated edge defenders in all of football. So I think the Chargers are a decent football team. I wouldn't say they're a team I look at and say, man, they're 10-4. They're going to be really good. But if they can get Amari and Hampton really going and have a complementary piece like Kamani Vidal come playoff time, I think they could beat anybody, honestly, in football if everything clicks.
He made Bosa expendable. So, I mean, it's like
correct.
He had 7.5 last year. I'm like, this guy probably needs more snaps. Now, I think they're good. I feel like I defend them, and I don't like doing it because I'm not even a fan. I'm a diehard Steelers fan. I have never been an Elway guy, but I feel like I always have to defend the Broncos. They have to be good, right, Ryan? They just keep winning.
Yeah, you find ways to win, right? Except for that fourth down decision by Sean Payton late in the game, right? The handoff to Adam Prentice.
Yeah, I was like, what are you He's looking at that look he can give. It's like he either lacks self-awareness or he couldn't care less. It's one of those two.
Yeah, he's trusting his guys, right, to make a play. And I wouldn't, that play call is a little bit questioning to me, but he does trust his guys. But you're exactly right. And when you find ways to win, you're not going to apologize to win in the NFL, at the end of the day. So I think when you look at Denver, obviously the defense pops out. Everybody wants to talk about Pat Surtain. Everybody wants to talk about Nick Bonito and Zach Allen up front. And that's fine. Those guys really headline it. But I think really specifically yesterday, in that environment against a big-time team coming in where the attention's on Micah Parsons, the attention's on Jordan Love in that offense, and then Bo Nix goes out and throws for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, doesn't turn the ball over. R.J. Harvey carries it for 65 times. He, again, gets in the end zone. I know the ground game wasn't great yesterday, but, again, another team that can beat you on the ground and beat you through the air. And then their defense comes on the football field, guys, and they may not allow more than 17 or 21 in the game. So I think the Denver Broncos are a legit football team. When you have a head coach that's really been through it as well, your quarterback's into his second season. Are they 12-2 good? I just can't sit here right now, guys, and say, man, this is a dominant football team. I can't say that. Oh, what we saw last week, right, Sunday night in Washington, and Jay Daniels, Marcus Mariota, that crew almost took them down.
Yeah.
But they are a very good football team. Their defense is outstanding. And they can really play some complimentary ball with R.J. Harvey in the backfield when he gets going a little bit.
Ryan, you talked about finding a way to win. I don't know how else to describe this 49ers team, which, full disclosure, I am a fan. But is there an opportunity for them to get healthy enough to actually be a threat in the NFC?
I think there is. I think the NFC, for me, is wide open this year. I know it's probably a deeper conference, and when you look at the AFC where there's Lamar Jackson's up in the air and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes stuff, but when you look at the defensive side of the ball for them, yeah, the Nick Bosa loss is huge, the Fred Warner loss is huge, but you're also having guys step up. I've enjoyed watching the development of guys like D. Winters at times and Yamador Lenoir and Malik Mustafa and his ability to play a physical brand of football. It's not perfect. I'm not saying that. And their pass rush has been one of the worst in football this year. But you still have a level of talent fundamentally that is better than a lot of teams in the NFL, in my honest opinion. And that starts on the offensive side of the ball with one of the best playmakers we've seen in football in the last decade, of course, with Christian McCaffrey. And if you have him healthy, your ability to expand this playbook and threaten defenses from a lot of different angles is going to give you a chance. Because, again, they allowed 24 to that Titans team yesterday. That's not perfect. That's not a great defensive showing. But overall, you can score 37. You could score against anybody. And they potentially get some guys back here moving forward. I think that's a team that can compete against anybody in the entire NFC.
It's going to be tough. I don't know. I mean, Philadelphia may continue to come back to the pack. If the Lions don't get in, are you in? So you're thinking Seahawks, Niners, Rams, all three from the West?
As of right now, yeah. As of right now, yes.
Do you think the Lions get in?
It's going to be interesting, guys. It's going to be tough for the Lions to get in. I would love to see them get in, guys. Here's the bottom line. I want to see good on good come playoff time. I do. And that's not saying every playoff team is good. You deserve to be there. Your record is, what it is. But when I look at this Lions team, what a ball game that was yesterday. An absolute shootout. It reminded me of that old Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes Monday night shootout that was old Big 12, whatever that was, 60-55, whatever it was. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I think this Lions team, you want to see Jahmyr Gibbs in the playoffs. You want to see Aiden Hutchinson in the playoffs. Do they get in? Again, I do not know. But that's a team where if they get hot, this defense can step up because they've dealt with injuries as well. This secondary can be anything more than some strategically placed road cones at times. This is a team that I do like. They got headliners on either side of the ball. I think Jared Goff is fine in the playoffs. He's not a guy I would hitch my cart to, but he can absolutely lead an offense, and I really do hope they get in, but they're really on the outside looking in right now.
What's the threat level you think that Houston poses in the AFC?
I think they're one of the most credible teams in the AFC, specifically because they do have, in my opinion, the best defense in football, guys, and I don't think it's really close right now. I think they are a team where we saw years ago when that Von Miller-led Broncos defense went in against Carolina, that powerful offense with Cam Newton, and completely shut them down, right? And Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP. I can look at that team right now and say Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson could be that type of guy. You got Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter on the back end with Azeez Al-Shaair and Henry Toto in the middle. They are loaded, absolutely loaded on defense. And then you have the offensive playmakers that they do have. And C.J. Stroud's still a very good quarterback.
Apparently he's good again.
He's absolutely fine. That's amazing. Everybody's ready to call him out, right? He's fine. But this defense is outstanding, guys. It is truly elite. For me, it's one of the best defenses I've seen in football in the last couple of years at all three levels. They can play press. They can play zone and force you into turnovers. They can get home with 4. That's really the recipe for how the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year. If C.J. Stroud and this offense can just be average, I think they have a chance to absolutely go all the way. I do. I think this defense is that good. I really do.
Who's the best team in the AFC?
Right now, I'll say this. I'll say Houston, even though they're at the 7th seed. I'll say Houston. I really will. I know that everyone else would probably say, yeah, it's New England and Drake May and what they've been able to do, or it's Denver and that defense. But I'm not ready to hitch my wagon to Drake May yet. I'm not ready to hitch my wagon to Bo Nix yet. I look at C.J. Stroud, and I look at this defense. I look at Woody Marks, what he's been. Dalton Schultz is coming up, getting more targets the last few weeks as a guy that's going to threaten the teams in the playoffs, a big-time contributor. I'm going to say the 7th seed, 9-5, Houston Texans are the best team in the AFC right now, contrary to belief.
All right, I'm gonna go down a list here. I want you to tell me if this team can make the Super Bowl, okay?
Yeah.
Denver Broncos.
Yes.
New England Patriots.
Yes.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
No.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
No.
Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes.
Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
Houston Texans, I assume yes.
That's a whole lot of yeses. Too many yeses.
What anybody outside the playoffs currently you think could make the Super Bowl if they make the playoffs? Like the Ravens, you want to throw them in there?
Yeah, I would say the Ravens, guys. Yeah, when you have
Really?
Lamar, you got Derrick Henry. Yeah, I do. I do, guys. Because when I look at, you don't play games obviously on the spreadsheet. I get that, and they have not been good this year. The 1-5 start obviously hurt them. But if this team clicks, I really, really do like this group. And that's not just Lamar and Derrick Henry. There's a lot of talent specifically on the defensive side of the ball that I really do like as well. Headlined, of course, by Kyle Hamilton. So I think there's one team on the bubble right now. If they were able to sneak in, it's, of course, outside looking in, less than a 50% chance right now to make the playoffs. It is Lamar Jackson in this Ravens group.
So that's 6 in the AFC. Let's do the NFC real quick. Okay. Rams?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Bears?
As of right now, I'll say no. I'll say no.
Eagles?
No.
Buccaneers?
No.
Seahawks?
No.
49ers?
I'll say yes.
Packers?
Pre-Micah Parsons, yes. I'll say no right now.
Lions, if they make it somehow.
Yes.
It's like the Ravens probably, huh?
All right, so we're only at 3 in the NFC, but that does give us 9 total. teams that you could think can make the Super Bowl. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yep.
This would be a heck of a. I said, I was joking with Ravi. This is probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. I said that bye never seemed more important than it does now, because I don't know who I feel confident winning 3 in a row to get to the Super Bowl.
Correct. I'm right there with you.
Who's going to win 3 in a row?
I think I'll say this, guys. If there's one team in either conference that I can bet on right now, say, hey, I have to pick this team
Rams
to win 3 in a row, I have to go the Rams.
Yeah, me too.
Right now.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that's right. Ryan, we appreciate the time as always. Great stuff, and we will talk to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks as always, guys, and happy holidays.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. You too.
That is Ryan Fowler, NFL analyst and host of the Commanding the Huddle podcast. Make sure you check it out when you get a chance. Coming up next, we're going to return local here with our guy Jacob PADILLA. We will put a bow on the Nebraska volleyball season, ending much quicker than any of us anticipated. Also coming quicker than you anticipate is the holidays. If you're going out and doing some last minute Christmas, holiday, New Year's, whatever shopping, make sure you're saving a little as well. With Centris Roundup program, you can do just that. Every time you make a purchase with the Centra Visa debit card, it gets rounded to the nearest whole dollar and will get transferred directly to your savings account. Help you save a little while you're spending this holiday season. Learn more at centrisfcu.org. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
I mean, I think it started with our serving and passing, and I don't want to like mispronounce her name, but number one, their middle, like she's a great serve, and she caught us on that for that run. So, I mean, I think we worked all season on being first to 5, first to 10, first to 15, and so on, and we weren't able to do that with her serve. And I mean, credit to her, she's a great serve. So, I mean, yeah, like we really take pride in serve and pass, but I think it caught us up a few times. Oh God, I mean, in moments like that, I feel like most of us probably aren't even thinking, like we're just going back to the basics, and we're all hyper competitive, and I've never actually been in a situation like that with going that far. So, I mean, it's hard, but at the end of the day, like whoever was going to win that set had more will, and obviously they took it in the 5th, but I think that set showed that we weren't going to just let them take it from us on our home court and in our gym, and it obviously didn't turn out the way we wanted, but I think we showed a lot of fight, and that's something to be proud of.
Aspirations can drive us. Sometimes a simple gesture is what fuels the pursuit of a dream. When it's time to make your dream a reality, we are here to help. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Just two really special individuals. Getting Kiara to come back for the 6th year allowed us to have the run that we had. Not even just, again, her play is really, really good, and I think she's one of the best middles in the country. But what she does beyond that is so much more important to our program. Best leader, best captain, does everything the right way. I know she jokes about being the team mom, and she really is. She's still, even in her 6th year, is making sure everyone has the right jerseys and spandex and all those kinds of things. And but also brings so much joy and all those things. And then Ava is just, man, the way she plays and competes is a pleasure to watch. I mean, sometimes in practices and film, the amount of times like my mouth drops watching her play is She's just remarkable. If this is her last college game, I'm excited that she was able to go on this run. Excited to watch her play at the next level. She's earned this opportunity.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Really awesome game by Texas A&M, and they played like they had 6 seniors on the court, and I'm proud of the way we fought back. And we played our hearts out and had a lot of things against us this week, and we still were that close. So I'm just proud of the way we finished that match, and I'm super proud of our seniors.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi, Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Jacob PADILLA of Hurrdat Sports and Hale Varsity to talk a little Husker volleyball. Jacob, how are we doing this morning?
I've been better. It was a rough weekend for my rooting interest and team that I cover.
So let me ask you something, JP. Where were you when we were going back and forth during the Creighton game?
Which Creighton game?
Basketball.
What do you mean? Where was I?
K-State. Were you at the stadium?
Yeah, I was at the game.
Well, that's pretty good for you to engage. That's not really your style.
I mean,
it was throwing me.
It wasn't. Well, it's a little easier covering games like the college games or whatever, because you got a lot more stuff available than like watching a high school game or whatever. But
where you do your own stats.
Also, the game wasn't necessarily the most engaging, where it had to be locked in on every possession, unfortunately.
So, do you want to start there?
Sure. Yeah, we can.
No, I'm asking Jacob. He runs the group
Your
chat.
guys' show.
I mean,
there he goes.
You were looking at me. I don't know.
So
you guys are asking the questions. I'll answer them.
JP, so where would you start if you wanted to be able to predict how you think the rest of the season is going to go? Are you going right to Coach Mack's post-game press conference notes with the rotation and guys that can play?
Yeah, that seems to be where we're at right now, and it's tough. I don't know what the answer is right now. Like, I don't think that is sustainable to get the season on track. Is cutting the rotation down that short to just those guys. I just don't know if you've got enough talent and enough versatility with just playing those guys 30 plus minutes a game and cutting those other guys out. Like, hopefully, I mean, the kind of the moves that he's making has an impact on those other guys and they can figure some things out, because you're going to need some of these guys to be a significant part. And it just doesn't seem like it's clicked so far. Like, it was really interesting. Like, there was a lot of talk, and like I went to practice on Friday before, and I saw it too, just kind of with the changes in where guys were playing in practice, and you kind of wondered, all right, is this just kind of a sending a message, like a pseudo benching where, yeah, you're going to start other guys, but you're going to go back to those guys, and it really wasn't. All the guys you started all played starter minutes, and really Zugic was the only one who got to 20 minutes off the bench, and but part of that is because when you put those other guys in, it went poorly. So whatever message he was trying to send didn't necessarily result in improved play or things getting figured out, unfortunately. So it seems like that's kind of where he wants to go short term, and it did. Like, you saw some really good things in that second half, but I don't think that this is the answer to suddenly get things back on track. It's just playing the 6 guys or the 5 guys that have been here plus Josh Dix.
So, Jacob, I find myself wondering as you kind of go through that answer, and I definitely understand what you mean about whether or not it's sustainable from a competitive and talent standpoint, but is it possible that Coach Mack just doesn't care? Where he says, hey, I'm not watching guys play like this anymore. We're losing with you anyway. I'm going to play the guys that I want to play. It's not like we're going to lose more.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense at this point going this route. And we saw in the second half that something clicked. They did find something there.
And if you add Greer in, which I assume is a guy that he likes to watch play, that's why the red shirt got pulled. All of a sudden, you have a 7-man rotation, and you're like, that's not out of the realm of possibility for what he's done in the past.
Yeah, true. But the problem with that is the 4 or 5 guys were really, really good, and that was it was more the gap in how good those guys were versus just then kind of what was on the bench. Like, there was a massive gap that led to that short rotation, and it wasn't just simply these are the only guys that are doing what we need. So I think the payoff for that short rotation is going to be higher than what we're going to see with this group, but it does seem like he's at that point. Just for whatever reason, like, again, they've been harping on this stuff since the start. The stuff that they're still struggling with, and it's not just the newcomers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just some of the issues exist with the guys that were in that rotation as well. Like, we saw at the start of the game, all the defensive breakdowns. Like, it didn't, changing starting lines didn't suddenly fix everything. And but we did see in the second half they at least made up for that with the extra hustle and going and making some plays that we didn't necessarily see in the first half. And there were some stretches where, I mean, sitting there next to John Walker and saying, okay, that right there, that possession is what they're looking for, where the ball popped around, they got to drive, they got to dump off, like they got to skip pass off of player. Like, there were possessions where it moved and all the pieces fit together and flowed off of each other. And it's like, okay, that's what Creighton basketball is supposed to look like. So we saw some of that with some of those different guys on the court there in the second half, on top of, I mean, Ty Davis flying around and making the hustle plays. They won some of those scrum rebounds that they have lost all season long. We saw some of that change in the second half, and I think that probably reinforced somewhat McDermott's idea going in, and that's why we saw them cut some of those guys out almost entirely, and just roll with the 6 or so with a few spot minutes for other guys. So I don't if the other guys can't figure it out, then it's going to be rough. But also, Greer is that's certainly a variable, and just one that makes it so difficult to evaluate and figure this team out, because you've had the personnel changing every other week. It seems like there's something different. They're trying to figure out a different rotation, and they have not figured it out with a certain group before it changes again, and then they got to start all the way over. And so that's kind of what we're seeing right now. It's just kind of a cycle where just something new happens, before they have a chance to really get the answers. And so I don't know. I don't know how long this kind of like searching is going to continue, but they're kind of out of time with Big East play starting this week, because obviously they're going to have to make all their hay in the league this year, and there's not much hay there to be had.
JP, with Freeman and Graves and Harper getting 27-ish minutes between the three of them, are all things that ail the same? It seems like it's a little something different. I don't know. I watched Freeman and I watched him at Iowa, and I'm thinking, I know Mac doesn't love fouling, but the way K-State was playing, it wouldn't have hurt you to have had more than one foul, or just the activity on the defensive end. I think for Freeman, he may be hurt though. I don't know. When you look at the three with the glaring droppage in minutes, is it similar with the three?
So he's definitely. I think Freeman is the one where there are multiple factors at play there, because it is clear that he's just not 100%, not himself, and obviously there are a lot of things that Matt gets on him for, like the fans can see that. So there are some things within his control that just aren't going the way that McDermott wants them to. But also, like, if anybody has an excuse for it not going the way that they hoped, he's the one. For the other guys, that one's kind of all on them and struggling to figure out. I mean, McDermott said it multiple times, like, these guys that have been in the program more than a short time, they understand better what has made this program what it is today and what it takes to play at Creighton and what McDermott's looking for. And it seems like Graves and Harper haven't figured that out. And we've seen some moments where, like, okay, that's why they wanted these guys, and that's kind of how they can be effective here. But obviously, I mean, Harper didn't get in the game until the 6:35 mark of the first half, and I guess that's probably a reflection of what McDermott's seen on the practice court and how he's handling different things, and the asks are being made of him, and obviously we saw Graves get a chance out there, and it went very poorly during that first in particular. And so I don't know, like, those guys, they've got to figure it out. They've got to find a way. Like, if I think this part too is, it's kind of like McDermott again sending that message, like, if those guys figure it out, like, we'll get you back in there. But if I have to go short, so be it, because he is. I mean, he's multiple times he's kind of given the message, like, hey, I'm done asking for this stuff. Like, I mean, it was kind of troubling how many times that we've heard some similar messages. And again, a lot of these issues that they've been harping on since practice first started, and we're however long in the season now, almost all the way through the non-conference, and they still exist. So they're searching right now, and hopefully whatever's going on right now can lead to some better results, but it's certainly not a place you want to be.
Jacob, let's switch over to Husker volleyball here. Obviously not the ending anyone hoped for or expected. I guess let's start from just the match itself against Texas A&M from a just technical, tactical standpoint. What was Texas A&M able to do that gave Nebraska so much trouble?
I think the biggest thing is, I mean, they were so pin heavy. Like, you look at the 3 pins, took 149 of the 178 swings, and Nebraska in a 5-set match ended up with 8 blocks. And they were just slow to the pins. Like, Texas A&M really kind of abused the edge of Nebraska's block. Just for whatever reason, I mean, that's part of it is the balance. Like, they were worried about the middles, even though they didn't necessarily play through them at a high rate. And I think that slowed the blockers just a little bit from getting where they needed to get. Meanwhile, Texas A&M was locked in. Like, their block was a massive problem for Nebraska. I mean, you saw both middles blocking at a high rate, and the pins pitching in as well. So, I mean, 17-8 in stuff blocks, that right there, on top of, again, just all the tooling and everything that Texas A&M was able to do. That's the biggest thing. I think they just, for whatever reason, Nebraska just wasn't quite able to keep up with what Texas A&M was doing offensively.
Doesn't seem like Coach Busboom Kelly, I mean, she's human, but the way she talks, right, it's kind of the style is the style, and it is what it is in terms of the flexibility and the depth that she was able to coach through all season. Were you surprised at all with how the Andy Jackson situation was handled when she wasn't playing well early, how long she sat?
No, and I mean, the players said, like, Dani is herself. She's not afraid to act a certain way. She's going to be true to herself. And the players, we've talked about it all season, kind of the bench situation, the rotation. The players themselves said it's comforting to know that, like, hey, if I'm struggling, we got somebody off the bench that can come in and help the team and give me a chance to kind of catch my breath, figure it out, and hopefully get back out there if need be. And that's, I think the Jackson situation is really complicated. I mean, that's something obviously a lot of people are harping on and talking like, hey, that cost them the match, and you don't sit down your best player, and yada yada yada. And I think it's really complicated. One, she's the one sitting there on the bench. She's seeing it up close. She's talking to Andy, kind of getting a feel for where her head's at. And she didn't just sit her down and forget about her. She benched her 3 times, sent her back in there twice, and the third time just decided to stick with Manai. And Obeche is someone that has performed at a high level every time that she's gotten in the match. Obviously, has never played on a stage as big as this against a team as good as this. So it's a little different. And she did well enough, or she didn't come in and hit the 500 plus that she has most of the season, but she had some big moments. I mean, that the first time she checked in there, and she helped kind of spark that run to get them right back in it. And they just couldn't quite get over the hump there, but and it just, that was Andy's worst match since her freshman year. Lowest hitting percentage. She had 2 matches where she hit 0 as a freshman. Since then, she hadn't hit as poorly as she did in this one. And actually, that match cost her the single season record for hitting percentage. She dropped back below Tracy Stahl's, and then finished at 467. So, it's just really unfortunate. That's the magic of sports, is you never know what can happen in any given game, and this just happened to be the worst that Andy's played, and that that had a huge impact. Like, you look at, they were so reliant on Harper Murray. They just Rebecca Alec was fantastic, and all credit to her for leaving everything she had out there. You could see, like, she gave everything she had to this program, but you didn't have what you normally get out of Andy and her rotations in the middle. Taylor Lanford wasn't particularly effective. They only set Virginia Adriano 12 times the entire match in 5 sets. So they just didn't have the balance that has made them so good all season long. And Texas A&M, again, with that tempo and with the effectiveness of their pins, it was, Harper kind of more or less canceled out Lednicki, but they got Stowers and Hellmuth. Stowers in particular was fantastic for them, and Nebraska really had no answers for her. So Jamie Morrison said, like, he thought they were the 2 most balanced teams in the country going in, and thought that would set up a great match. And that it's, I guess, we ended up with the 5-set deuce game in the 5th. So that ended up being the case to a certain degree, but Nebraska's balance just wasn't there for the first time in a big spot in a while.
JP, Nebraska basketball, I think, fudge. Live tweeting or live texting. It's like you kind of get everybody's sentiment on there. Were you more taken aback at Nebraska's ability to jump out and get to the lead, regain it, or the resolve at the end, given kind of how the game was being called? Like, which part were you like, Didn't see that coming. Even if however you felt about the end result.
Probably their ability to execute. Well, all right, their ability to make a play. It sounds like they didn't actually execute at the end after giving up the lead. Kind of hilarious that the coach's son goes the wrong direction on the game-winning play, but hey, it worked out. Credit to Jamarcus Lawrence for hitting a heck of a shot, because obviously, like Sam Hoiberg said, he was supposed to go off of math screen, and he went the other way, and it wasn't like he hit Lawrence in the shooting pocket wide open. Lawrence had to put it on the deck, side dribble, get space, and got it off and knocked it down. So, like, that's, I mean, we've seen in the past where Nebraska's maybe played well, but teams have kind of rallied and down the stretch, and Nebraska wasn't able to respond. And like, I probably would not have felt great about a Nebraska win in overtime at that place had they not been able to hit that shot at the end. So just the ability to make that play. And obviously, I mean, the story of the game was the Stanford start. But he only had 6 points in the second half. So they had other guys get going. Mast, obviously. But Jared Garcia, out of nowhere. 10 points, all in the second half. And that's a guy that hasn't played a whole lot. Kind of mixing in just game to game what his role is going to be. You look at it, he wasn't necessarily a great player where he came from at a lower level. And so him coming in and giving them those minutes and that production on a day when they didn't get their normal production out of Frager, like that's huge. They don't win without those 10 points off the bench from Garcia. So that's the mark of a good team, is you have different guys stepping up, different guys making plays. Again, Lawrence making the game-winning play, Hoiberg getting in the teeth of the defense and giving him a chance to make that play. So like that's probably the most impressive part, is like they could have kind of wilted here, and like it's to build up the lead that they did and to give it all the way up, and then to build it up again and then make and lose it again right at the end, and then have the presence of mind to go make that play to win it. Like that just, I think we're seeing something a little different from this team. It is old, it's really experienced, and you got a lot of different guys that are capable of contributing and making big plays, which hasn't always been the case. Like we've seen throughout the time, like Nebraska's, they've had some really good players throughout the program's history. They just haven't necessarily put together entire teams that are able to click together, and you've got different guys that can step up when kind of the main guys aren't necessarily giving you what you thought or what you would expect from them. So just a massive win for this Nebraska team to kind of reinforce. Like obviously the start to the season hasn't been the toughest in terms of the competition level, but you go out and win a game like this in that fashion, then that gives more credence to, yeah, maybe they are actually just really good, and it doesn't really matter who they're playing to that degree.
So I told Ravi the story. I don't know, it's probably in the 5 o'clock isn't in the 5s, because I hadn't have to be downstairs to the speaking event until 6. I hadn't even gotten ready. I told him I was jumping on the bed in the hotel room like a little kid watching Price, and it's cool across the board, because the bigger question for you is when you look at the temperament of guys like Frager, Sam, Cale Jacobson, Price Sanford. We watched him for a couple years on the shoe circuit. You know these guys' personalities too, as competitors, and like how they attack things from a confidence standpoint. Like, how cool is it when you actually watch it come to fruition, knowing what you know, having watched them for so long, that's part of the secret sauce, right? Just the way that they lay it on the line every single night out.
And just the different paths all these guys have taken to get to this point. Obviously, like Sam and Cale starting as walk-ons and working hard throughout their time to earn this opportunity. And now they're just legitimately really good role players at that level. You got like Jamarcus Lawrence, who started in Nebraska and went elsewhere and then came back an improved player. You've got Rink Mast, who's gone through everything in his career and leveled up. Yeah, exactly. And again, just for him to be playing at this level, coming off of missing an entire year, is really impressive. And like I knew they were going to rely on him a lot just based on the roster construction, but yeah, he's been everything they could have hoped for and more. And then Buchengel, for a guy coming that was pretty highly thought of when he arrived at UCLA to now, and kind of like, oh, this is a skilled big body guy that
we thought it was kind of a bit,
a
little bit of a shtick, and now we like him again.
Yeah, well, and like he
Amazing
goes from
what roles
kind
can
of
do for somebody.
Knock it off.
Well, yeah, and embracing it. And because, like, again, he was a guy that thought of, oh, he can dribble, he can shoot, all this type of stuff. And that stuff hasn't really translated to any meaningful degree, but he's out there kind of more embracing the ability to make an impact on defense and rebound the ball and just score occasionally when the opportunity is there. And it's just kind of fitting into this piece where you've got other guys that have emerged. And then, yeah, Sanford leveling up, just coming over from Iowa, where you had kind of some older guys that with his brother and Josh Dix and Freeman while he was healthy, other guys that were kind of the main guys. And he was just, it was kind of interesting. He was kind of following in the Dix path over there at Iowa, where didn't play a ton as a freshman. That sophomore year kind of stepped up into a really good role player, but not necessarily the guy. And now as a junior here at Nebraska, he's really blossomed and improved his all-around game. Like, again, at his ability to attack closeouts in addition to shoot. Like, we knew the shooting was what it was, kind of his bread and butter. But I mean, he is 6'7", whatever he is.
He could just
long,
score.
6'8",
I like
6'9",
he's putting it on. Remember how we watched him for just give it to guys on the shoe circuit. I'm like, he's more than just a shooter.
Yeah, and he's not going to go up and finish above the rim, but his ability to extend past the defender, again, just really strong line drives, holding his line, getting all the way there and finishing. Like that's so dangerous. Like that's how you kind of like that's there. You got guys that can shoot. You've got movement shooters that can run off screens and all that type of stuff, and then you've got shooters that can attack closeouts. And when you get the latter two, like that makes such a big difference. It compromises the defense so much because you have to close out hard. You can't let these guys get clean looks. But if you do that and the guy can either relocate or put the ball on the deck and drive really hard and either finish or collapse the defense and kick to somebody else, like that's you can live like that with guys making plays like that. It's really hard to cover. And so he's kind of evolved into that kind of guy. And that makes this Nebraska team that much harder to guard when you've got to account for a guy like Mass and his ability to facilitate and score inside and out.
There you go. That is our guy, Jacob Padilla, Hurrdat Sports, Hail Varsity. Appreciate you, JP. And hopefully this week of sports goes a little better for you in your coverage and fandom.
So let me ask you real quick about the Packers. You still want to see them? Are you one of those guys that's like, oh, it's over? Or do you want them to still go as far as they can, even if you think they can't win it? Or are you like, I'll just let it fall where they may? Like, how is it?
No, I'm going to watch every week regardless, as long as I'm not working. And the good news is it seems like the offensive injuries at least aren't season-ending. Like outside of the Parsons one, it seems like Tom's going to be okay. Christian Watson's going to be okay. Evan Williams thinks he's going to be okay. So some of the other guys that you couldn't afford to lose seem to be like they'll be back in a week or two, hopefully. And so now you just have to go all in and like this offense just kind of see what Jordan Love can do. Just lean into it. Try to kind of win your games with offense because at this point, Parsons did so much for them on defense, and it does. I'm gonna assume the championship equity is off the table.
Oh.
Although, I mean, this season, I don't know who you can trust as a true contender. But yeah, Nebraska. It's in here staring at the box score again. Yeah, Green Bay. It's tough. It's going to be tough watching that defense moving forward, just because of how much I rely on them. But at least maybe even if they don't win at the rate that they were the rest of the season, hopefully they can be fun and just air it out. Let Jordan Love let him cook and see what you can do offensively, because that's how they're going to have to win the rest of the way.
I said let Love cook. Said no one ever. All right, JP. It's funny how we started out the season. You remember you and I going back and forth about, I'm like, oh, this is or you said something about Jordan Love's prowess. And of course, Ravi chimed in, yeah, if they could play the Lions every week. And then, and here we are. It might have to end up with Love being the guy. And lo and behold, maybe to keep the Lions out. The irony in that early text chain is kind of funny.
Yeah, this season has been an absolute roller coaster of emotions, and it is kind of fun when you don't have the juggernaut teams that you just kind of pencil into the Super Bowl or the championship games. But when you're a fan of one of those teams that is in the mix, and things that have happened the way they have, where maybe the team isn't very good. Oh, actually, they figured out. Oh, well, now your best player's hurt. It's not been fun, kind of riding the roller coaster. But I guess at points it was really exciting, and I mean the hope is what makes sports great, and it also is what makes them so painful.
I'm hoping for a discount double check tonight. Can you imagine being me, hoping like that's where my rest and my hope lies? It's in AA Ron tonight, young Jakob. That's where we're at.
Well, at least your division's terrible. You don't have fake Bears somehow finding a way to keep winning to make it more difficult.
I was going to say that earlier. Exactly that.
Oh, knock it off. All right, JP.
Yeah, Shane knows. He's in a brutal division. I'm sure that's the problem with the Raiders.
Yeah, that's it. It's just the division.
It doesn't even zip it, Shane. JP, there is a 100% chance you'll be hearing from both of us today at some point. So enjoy the wait.
All right, bye, guys.
Thanks.
That's Jacob Padilla, Hurrdat Sports, Hail Varsity.
Do you think he would kick us out and just? He'd probably kick you out before he kicks me out.
I don't know.
I'm at least nice to him.
Me and JP go way back.
Oh, I know.
I don't know. I'll take my chances.
You told me to explain it to you like you were a 5-year-old. I thought he would be with me on that one. He might have felt like it was a little too harsh.
Well, it wasn't the natural-born caregiver I'm used to seeing from you. You said you're 4 kids, but that was kind of mean. It's a little tidbit for you. It's the first time since 1998 that either Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes will not be in the NFL playoffs.
That's
1998. That's older than everybody on the Thunder roster. Pretty much.
It's close.
I think it is.
It's close.
It's pretty close. That's DB. I'm Ravi, Lulla. We will be back tomorrow with more Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.